My view is that it's Odette.
Rev the engines! Throttle!
We come here often, so we shouldn't stand out. Let's sit here. Now, it's up to Vodyanica. Let's see how the conversation goes.
Mr. Mitya! Over here!
Oh, sorry. I got a little held up on my way here. Now we have even less time than we planned. Go ahead and order some snacks and drinks. Whatever you like. Let me see. According to my schedule, we still have 25 minutes left.
You're really pressed for time today, huh? I was imagining this would be a leisurely chat. If you'd prefer, we can always reschedule for another afternoon when you have more time.
No need. Getting to meet the lead singer is a very precious opportunity for me. I'm not about to pass it up. I've already had to decline your invitation several times because our schedules rarely align. If I don't grab this chance while it's here, who knows when the next one will come around?
Well, it's very kind of you to make time just for me.
I'm not too sure, to be honest. But Snezhnaya is full of weird and wonderful things like that, so people tend not to bat an eye. I'm sure the same will go for the Eye of Grey and Paimon.
The reason I invited you out for tea and a chat today was to get some feedback from a true fan of the theater.
Well, I genuinely have nothing bad to say. No matter how many times I hear you sing, it never gets old. It always seems fresh. Maybe it's because the more times I listen, the more details I notice. Or maybe you simply improve with every performance, delivering it better each time.
Thank you! I'm delighted to hear that. Could you give me any specific examples?
Oh, yeah. The piece you sang today, for example. Beneath the Frozen River? Hey, what's with you? I'm just praising a good performance. I always used to find that such a bleak and lonely song. But the more you listen, the more you realize that it's not as cold and nihilistic as it appears. When you really dig down into it, there's a certain...
Wow, I'm impressed. I didn't expect you to pick up on that. Actually, I only tried out that angle after talking with a Still, Beneath the Frozen River wasn't on today.
Oh, really? But it's a classic. You sing it every time.
Almost every time.
Oh. Well then. Let me say a few words about that other all-time classic, Flying in the Wind from the Mountain Sparrow.
I didn't sing that one today either. My voice wasn't quite up to it, so I switched it out at the last...
Oh. But...
Sorry, Mr. Mitya, but you were at the theater today, yes?
Of course I was. Remember? I said hello to all the troupe members before the show started. You, Odette, and the others.
So what did Odette sing today?
Elegy of the Snow-Winged Goose, of course.
Correct. You find my singing boring, don't you? That's why you don't remember a single song. Looks like I'll need to cut a few from the program next time.
No, that's not it. I swear. All right. I'll be straight with you. I'm sorry. My mind was wandering as you took the stage today. I enjoy watching your shows because the exquisite performances stimulate the mind. It always sparks some inspiration for my research. So whenever I get stuck at work, I come to the theater for a change of pace. Odette's dance during the elegy of the snow-winged goose today was simply incredible. It got me wondering what she's been going through recently. That look of sheer defiance in the face of utter tragedy? It was so inspiring. I started scribbling in my notebook right away. Not that I made a ton of progress in the grand scheme of things, but I still think it was productive. By the time I snapped out of it, the entire show had finished.
So what you're saying is, you didn't listen to my singing at all?
Unfortunately not. I'm sorry, I don't know which is more disrespectful. The fact that I don't always come for the show itself, or the fact that I missed your performance.
Seems like things are getting a little awkward.
Mitya just stepped into a conversational minefield. If there's one thing Vodyanitsa doesn't like, it's people who show disrespect for her this meeting was so hard to set up. Don't tell me it's already falling apart.
It's fine. I suppose this is affirming in its own way. At least, it shows that our performance really touches people's hearts. Don't let it bother you.
She's showing a lot of restraint.
Well, I'll be sure to let Odette know how much you adored her.
Please don't say that. I always love your performances too. It's just that inspiration struck at the wrong time today.
I know, I can tell. That's why I'm sure some people can't stand it when others praise their coworkers right to their face.
Fair enough. I still feel kinda bad though.
But you know what I really can't stand? People who only show up to the theater to pretend that they're cultured. Makes me sick to my stomach.
Oh yeah, 100%. There are too many of those people around. By the time they're walking out the door, they've forgotten all about the show. What's wrong?
I don't know if you've heard about the boss of the Iskra manufacturing plant. He isn't even a theater investor. But he always demands the same privileges as box tickets only, premium drinks, even the right to request specifics.
Well played, Vodyanitsa. Seems like she's harnessing her rage to steer the conversation back.
Now that you mention it, I've interacted with that guy before. I gotta say, everyone holds him up as an example of a benevolent business.
Yeah, he couldn't care less about what's happening on stage. He's just there to flaunt his social status. I hate that I have to prepare. What's the big deal with that factory he runs anyway? I asked around a bit and heard some pretty shocking stories. Sounds like he's just another greedy cat.
Oh, really?
Yep, the things people are saying are pretty damning. Low wages, insanely long working hours, equipment running around the clock. And as if that's not bad enough, he also strictly forbids his employees from giving any kind of interview. Project Stuja has now been extended so many times, we're at the point where crystal rations for the common folk are barely enough to survive on. Yet he even wants to get his greedy hands on them, just to boost his own If the rumors are true, he's in serious violation.
Interesting. So you've heard about it too?
What? So it's really true?
Who knows? I've only heard the same rumors you have. But there's no smoke without fire. The Rooster's been coming down on us hard lately, demanding that we track and trace every single batch of Crystal. My coworkers in the Department of Energy have been tearing their hair out over it.
The Rooster? I didn't realize he cared that much.
Yeah. Even though there are no restrictions on Crystal trading, the poor will wind up freezing to death if we let the rich buy as much as they want. That's clearly Looks like we'll need to arrange an investigation into the Iskra manufacturing plant as soon as possible. I never knew you kept up with current affairs beyond the theater, Miss Vodyanitsa. You really have a heart for the common person. Most Fae in your position have long been indifferent to the plight of humans.
Well, those of us who choose to live in human cities are naturally going to pay attention to any significant. I'm just surprised to learn that even someone with as much experience as him is getting so stressed out over Project Stuja. What is the end goal of this project?
This is it. We're fine.
I'm sure Mitya can sense on some level that she's fishing for information. But since their conversation is so relaxed, he might just let something...
It's stressing me out too. If I'd only made better progress with my research, things wouldn't have dragged on this long.
Oh, So your work is related to Project Stooge?
That's right. The Armory Palace needs a brand new energy source. Not the power of the Light Realm, and not element. Right now, the only thing that meets the requirements is the power contained within stellar linchpins. But harnessing that power is costly. Each step of the process requires enormous amounts of Kresnik crystal. From extraction to quantification to attempts at progress has been painfully slow, and the team is getting burned out as time goes by. Sometimes, I see people staring into space as if in a trance.
Could it be that this new energy source has side effects?
No, it doesn't affect us, because the energy is used for... Okay, I got it. Stop choking me. Sorry, I can't talk about that. I think we're all just exhausted. We've been working ourselves to the bone for so long with so little progress to show for it. It's no wonder people are struggling to stay motivated.
Seems like I owe you an apology. I shouldn't have gotten so mad at you for not paying attention during the show.
Don't worry about it. I count myself lucky, to be honest. I don't envy the people who work closely with the Tsaritsa herself. I'd much rather be in my current position. At least I don't have to shoulder any major responsibilities.
So they're trying to develop a completely new kind of energy. Yeah, censored by a scarf. Who would have thought?
Oh, dear. It looks like my time is up. I'm afraid I have to leave. I'm so sorry. We ended up barely talking about the theater.
That's okay. It was a pleasure chatting with you, really.
Let's make up for it next time. Yeah, hopefully once the work pressure eases up a little, I'll be able to focus more on the performance, and then we'll have more to discuss. We touched on some confidential issues today. I'd be grateful if you could keep it between us.
That could have gone worse.
Nice job. Why was Mitya in such a hurry to leave, though?
Sorry, routine inspection. Okay, let's go.
So he wasn't rushing to get back to work. He must have calculated that Valeri would find him here in exactly 25 minutes. That's
One of the main duties of the Special Assignments Battalion is to ensure that important figures stick to their schedules.
All right, time for us to get going too. Excuse me, check please.
We'll settle our check too, then.
Oh, hello there. Mr. Mitya paid the check before leaving. He also asked me to pass on a message. He said it was an honor to share his tea break with Miss Vodyanitsa and her two friends.
Wait.
So he knew we were here all along? This raises a lot of questions. Did he deliberately mention the new energy source so that we'd overhear it? Maybe his work isn't confidential after all. Maybe the key here is the purpose of this new energy. I guess that's the... Vodyanitsa and Alosha have left. Time to head back and call it a day.
Try and stop me!
You're back! Here pretty early today. Paimon was just gonna mention that. After she woke up today, Paimon felt like her temperature was completely back to normal. But her strength still hasn't returned. Still, there's some good news. Paimon thinks she might have figured out the source of the problem. It's like there's some kind of mysterious power affecting Paimon. Paimon's never felt this way before during any of her travels. She only started feeling this way since we arrived in Snezhnaya.
That's right. The Armory Palace needs a brand new energy source.
Could that have something to do with...
What is it? You're making that face again. You know, the one you get whenever you have a light bulb moment? So, they're trying to develop a new energy source here? And you think that might be why Paimon's feeling unwell? Well, Media denied that the energy they're researching has any side effects. Although, he did say that people working on the project have been having issues with their concentration and short-term... And even so, those are completely different symptoms from Paimon's. It's pretty faint, so it's kind of hard to tell. But, if anything, it seems like it's coming from roughly the same direction as the armory. Sure, Paimon's with you there. But how, though? The robot only has a limited amount of intel. Oh, great point! They argue about Project Stusha every day. If we could sit in on one of their sessions, we might pick up some new lead. Good idea! Oh yeah, while you were out, Paimon tried all the yummiest looking desserts in the Potpourri. This one seemed right up your alley. So, Paimon saved some for you. Come try it once you finish writing your letter.
Alosha replied. He says that we won't be able to speak at the Vetcha, but he can arrange for us to attend as visitors. Time to get ready. Then head to the Snezhnaya Vetcha.
If there's anything you need, please let me know.
Miss Vodyanitsa, prima donna of the Korolievsky troupe. What a surprise meeting you here. Will you be sitting in on a session?
Sorry, I'm not taking interview. Oh good, you're here. The session's about to begin. Let's get in.
Please wait, Miss Vodyanitsa. Could you introduce me to your new friend?
In summary, the energy management commitments made for the outgoing period have been delivered upon. Furthermore, both the production and consumption of Kresnik Crystal show clear signs. The relevant agencies have assessed the present circumstances and determined that the status quo can be sustained until the next period. For detailed statistics, I would refer you to the industry reports that have been distributed. It should also be noted that while the recent blizzards have led to a significant increase in people's energy expenses, this is strictly a short-term phenomenon associated with a remote... Her Majesty the Tsaritsa is giving her full attention to this matter. We should have every confidence that it will be dealt with swiftly. A financial report on disaster relief is also present.
They cover the same old ground every single time. The rooster never seems to mind, but There's a general lack of trust. People aren't seeing any tangible benefits that affect them directly.
Yeah, if it weren't for these hard copy documents, I could have at least made something up. Oh, don't mind me. I'm just out here trying to hit my interview quotas. Bring out the kvass. Ever read it? Best-selling newspaper in town. Okay then, best-selling street stall newspaper in town.
Order! We will now open the floor to the representatives. If there are no further substantive issues to discuss, we will then proceed to a vote on this motion.
Snezhnaya has a long tradition of treating members of the Fatui armed forces and their dependents favorably. But recent surveys shows that Fatui families in remote areas have access to 15% less crystal than the average civilian family in Snezhnaya. It's been said many times before, but it bears repeating now. There needs to be a clear and consistent rationale behind how crystal is allocated, or we will soon face immense public backlash.
Perhaps you wouldn't need to keep repeating yourself if you would hear me out for once. I say again, true consistency exists only in principle. In the real world, fairness is relative. You appear to treat resource allocation as a simple function of production and population. So what about when the equipment used in production breaks down? Have you factored that into your equation? And do you even know how long it's been since Snezhnaya last conducted a census?
If I knew the answers to questions like that, I'm sure I'd be a very wealthy man. And I doubt I'd be going by child. I'd like to bring the focus back to the specific issue I raised. Or do you wish to deny that favorable treatment for Fatui dependents is our long-standing policy?
It's easy to be a critic when there's no accountability. That seems to be a running theme in the anti-Project Stuja cohort. Defeat the ringleader and all other problems will magically resolve themselves. That's what they seem to think. But in case you aren't aware, not one jot in my report would change whether Project Stuja continues or not.
So you have no intention whatsoever of finding a solution to this problem?
On the contrary, I'm the only one here who ever brings solutions.
Child opened by speaking up for the armed forces. Regraders struck back with style and a war of words ensued. Our reporter was live on the scene to get the audience's reaction as it all unfolded. Who do you support? The people have spoken! Child received raucous applause from the crowd as he pushed Regrader onto his back foot with a relentless barrage of questions. It had to be seen to be...
Now you see why they don't have a sales permit.
However this reporter wants to spin things, I haven't forgotten that Tartaglia was representing the Northland Bank when we first met. So surely, their relationship can't always have been this strained.
You two are getting off topic. Let's focus on what the data...
Mr. Pantalone, may I speak on your behalf?
Oh, please do. I'm more than happy to save my breath.
Crystal distribution policy undergoes modifications with each new period. The ultimate goal being to find the most reasonable method of allocation, which I believe is what Mr. Tartaglia, but I fear many may have been misled on this topic by extremist activists. To clarify, Project Stuja is not the root cause of the problem. It is merely a framework for resource distribution. The most recent reports all point to Snezhnaya's resilience and adaptability during this period of fine-tuning, and give clear indications that a distribution framework is improving with each iteration. To make drastic adjustments without first considering the risks would likely do more harm than good. It would be a waste of the hard-won experience we've gained to date.
Renowned scholar of finance, Arapov spoke up to clarify the fiscal logic, clearly alluding to social organizations like the Rokot in his words. With the notorious Lelex still active to this day, should the Rokot be held responsible? No,
She's just rephrasing what Mr. Pantalone said. The Rokot are the critics he accuses of taking no response. As for Lilac, you won't have heard of him yet. He's currently the most famous member of the Rokot. Well, more like infamous. Ending Project Stuja has become an obsession for him. Unlike the more decent ones among us, he believes that votes in the Vetcha. So whether it's threats, coercion, or bribery, he'll use whatever means necessary to get people to change their vote.
And since we're already on the subject, what do you think of Lelec's methods? Are you for or against? Well, whatever the story is, his actions benefit us all. We stand.
At least someone here wants to take this discussion seriously. I've been considering that issue myself. What you really need is more precise regional data. I think it would be easiest to let the Fatui handle it, since they're already in charge of Crystal shipments anyway. We may as well get them to collect some data while they're at it. Whatever you need, you can ask the Fatui to look into it for you. In terms of supervision, I think the Druzhna would be a good fit. I had hoped to discuss this with Miss Vesna, but sadly, she's not
I will be happy to take a note of your suggestions and present them to Commander Vesna for a decision upon her return. The Commander has always taken a keen interest in Project Stuzha. However, given the Druzhna's demanding workload, I'm afraid it may prove difficult for them to provide any practical support.
Let us refrain from jumping to conclusions until a concrete and actionable plan is in place.
My apologies, Lord Rooster.
There are numerous. Nevertheless, I support drafting a proposal. Follow the usual procedure, and it can be raised as a new motion for all parties to evaluate at the appropriate time.
In that case, I'd like to share one thought before the proposal is drafted. The issue of time sensitivity was raised just now, which I presume relates to the official reports. In fact, the Energy Commission already collects regular statistics on each urban center and its surrounding area. Would these be of any use?
That's a good idea. I read every issue of Sviet-Lolaidovka's report, and although my focus is mostly on the section about equipment operation,
Be that as it may, does no one see an issue with using local data to determine Crystal quotas? In the long term, it seems like a very risky...
Not if they are used purely for reference. So long as we have the report from the Northland Bank's headquarters to corroborate it, no one will be able to...
Very well then. It appears that this arrangement is acceptable.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
The members reached a provisional consensus on the issue of improving treatment for Fatui Today, the prima donna of the Korailievsky troupe attended a session of the Snezhnograd Vecha in the company of a dashing young man. The question on all our minds is, what is the true nature of their relationship?
Write anything like that again, and I'm revoking your permission to interview the troupe.
Now then, if there are no further contributions from those
Hey, check it out! What made him vote against? What?
The votes have been tallied. Those in favor of continuing Project Stuzha total 61%, securing a clear majority.
That was too close. The margin has shrunk yet again.
I'll bet Lelek is behind this. I wonder how Pulcinella will respond this time.
Chuganov. I see. Lelek strikes again.
Yes. Go, Lelek. Once Project Stuzha is defeated, our unwavering support at Bring Out the Kvass will finally pay off when we make our comeback.
In accordance with the result of this vote, Project Stuzha will remain in effect until the next Vecha period. We debate only for the greater glory and solidarity of our nation. May the aurora shine ever on, and the session is...
I have to say, I really wasn't expecting Chukhanov to vote against Well, in principle, Snezhnaya's business and political elites ought to be the ones least likely to oppose. As we heard, Project Stuzha is basically just a resource distribution framework that requires everyone to cut back during the winter. But even if the policy got cancelled, the Tsaritsa's energy needs wouldn't suddenly go down. I got a letter from Mr. Mitya just before today's session. He said he's confirmed that there are issues around overtime and excessive energy consumption at the Iskra manufacturing. In a situation like this, once the Rooster receives the report, he'll order the factory to halt production and submit to an investigation before issuing a penalty. But that's a week-long process, and thus didn't make it onto the Vetcha agenda this time. I don't think he suspects anything so far. Exactly. And as you know, he's a very selfish person. I was originally gonna try and flip him after he received notice of the official sanctions. My plan was to convince him that the whole thing was completely unfit. Rather than just sit back and take the hit while his factory stopped production, he'd be better off voting to end Project Stuja. At least that way, no one else would be able to make any money either. But now, he's already voted against it. Which means someone must have used more forceful means to change his vote. Yeah, no one knows why Lilac is so obsessed with ending Project Stuja. But by the looks of it, he's inching closer and closer.
Lilac must have strong motivations, given how he'll stop at nothing to achieve his goal. Maybe he knows the full truth of Project Stu. Maybe my next step should be to focus on him.
Oh, right. What are your plans for the rest of the day? Shall we?
Hey, comrade. I noticed you were here during the debate.
I didn't take you for a political enthusiast.
Greetings, Harbingers. I just happened to have some free time today, and my new friend here thought it might be fun to check out the Vetcha.
Ah, Odette must have introduced you. Looks like you two are getting along pretty well.
I'll leave you to catch up. I should head back to the troop.
Sure. Break a leg, and all. Thought it might be fun to check out the Vetcha, did you? Things are never that simple with you, Traveler. There's no way you're here for kicks and giggles. Tell me I'm wrong.
Oh, yeah. To some, he's a captivating enigma. To others, he's the bane of their existence. No one ever thought that some anonymous nobody from the Rokot could cause such a stir. Huh? You want to look into Lelik? Then I'm sure his days of anonymity are numbered. What do you think, Sen?
Fine by me, I guess. If the Traveler actually manages to expose Lelik, it'll be doing Pulcinella. In return, it seems fair to let him in on what we've learned so far.
My thoughts exactly. Sharing is caring, after all. Head back to Glupov and grab the files on Lelik. It's easier to just pull the records than go through the rigmarole of getting the Traveler a visit.
As you command, child, sir.
In that case, since we're going to be waiting anyway, I'll have someone brew a pot of black tea.
One common thread among the many incidents Lelik has been involved in is that the victims are all too scared to share any real information about him. Clearly, he must have threatened them in some way. His modus operandi is to silently infiltrate the scene and leave a threatening letter behind. But neither the letters nor the crime scenes ever yield any clues to his... So all these files have to offer are short statements by the people affected. They don't give us a lot to go.
If nothing else, it shows we're dealing with a trained professional who's versed in counter surveillance.
Yes, and to that point, he often strikes in highly secure locations. The victims are high-ranking and influential people who take their personal security very... Somehow, Lelik slips right into their rooms without making a sound. There's never any eyewitness. If he can get in and out undetected, it means he can strike without warning. Not that that's ever... It's hard to believe that a human being could pull this off flawlessly every time. So they switched the focus of the investigation to Faye. Unfortunately, no one's found anything yet. Careful, don't underestimate me. Although truth be told, I'd probably find it hard not to blow my cover. Direct confrontation is more my style.
We haven't ruled out the possibility of Lelik being human. It's just... there can only be a handful of people in all of Teyvat who'd fit the profile.
No, not as strong as me. You'll never find the culprit with criteria like that. Let's go with... a little weaker than me. There's no denying that Master is strong, but meticulous... we can only hope.
He's just trying to find a reference point. Stop getting fixated on who's stronger than who.
But that's the most important thing. In my opinion, anyway.
Odette? Yeah, that seems about right. Her skills are solid, and she's always calm under pressure.
Except she's Fatui, so the likelihood of her working against us is pretty low. But yeah, much more accurate than your previous example, at least.
No, wait a moment. Maybe we should interrogate that assumption.
What do you mean?
Her Fatui identity doesn't necessarily exonerate her. And when you think about it, the Rokot would be precisely what she needs to conceal.
Plus, she wouldn't need to be such a pro at covering her tracks. She'd already know where the Fatui will be and when. So she could choose the perfect time to act. Oh, yikes. I was just thinking out loud. Why is this starting to sound like such a convincing theory? Still, what reason could Odette possibly have for trying to call off Project Snezhnaya?
Arlecchino would be the best person to ask. She knows Odette best. Unfortunately, Rosaline used to open up to her in private about her struggles with, as I'm sure you can imagine, Arlecchino is quite a lot better with children than Rosaline. She gave her some tips on how to handle the situation, and Rosaline managed to reach a settlement with Odette before leaving. So I suppose there were at least no lifelong regrets left behind. Beyond that, I don't know the details about that side of things. But I do know that Odette definitely has a motive to hold a grudge against Project. The reason being, her father passed away during the early stages of the project. That was back before it had been named Project Snezhnaya, when things were still being worked out. But in essence, it's
The more you know. Rosaline was always so self-centered. I never understood why she started paying so much attention to Odette. Is that such a surprise? If you cast your mind back, you may remember that Rosaline and I weren't exactly close. We had tea together a few times, but...
Odette's past is no secret. Her father was a Fatus and her mother was a very famous... On the surface, it looks like she followed right in her parents' footsteps. But the truth, after her father passed away on a mission, her mother was overcome with grief. She broke her leg during a performance and could never dance. Odette was only interested in ballet at the time, but this tragedy left the family with both breadwinners gone. They could barely make it. Per Capitano's policy, family members of Fatui who died in the line of duty had to be appropriately accommodated and provided with adequate. So, regardless of how Rosaline may have felt about it, it fell to her to resolve the issue of Odette's family's livelihood. In the end, the solution they agreed upon was to...
Right, because the alternative would have been a one-off compensation payment, I guess. In that sense, joining up was definitely the better... Still, she must have had mixed feelings about it, right? If she doesn't even like the Fatui...
It's just a theory. A possibility. But as a motive for Odette to become Lelik, that said, I have no idea where Odette's head is at right now. Or what her conflict with Plenty of people were on bad terms with Rosaline. I have no intention of trying to figure it all out. Yes, but there's not much point in discussing...
Yeah, back to Lelik. Since our investigations so far have turned up next to nothing, we've got nothing to lose by trying... Funnily enough, Tonya and I had actually made plans to go to the theater tomorrow to watch Odette's rehearsal, which means you can go in my place. No point wasting the ticket. Plus, you'll get to meet Tonya.
Spirit Seeker. Quite the classic ballet. It was passed down through Odette's mother's family for generations. But Odette's been practicing it diligently, and it's finally ready for a return to the stage. Excitement is through the roof. Tickets for the
Tonya's excited for it too. She's desperate to see it no matter what. Personally, it's not really my kind of thing, but since she's my little sister, I had to figure something.
I've actually seen it several times before. The story's pretty straightforward. The lead character follows a trail of clues left behind by a spirit. Gradually, it's a tale of love and regret. So not exactly reinventing the wheel, at least by today's standards. But when that classic melody kicks in and the lead character begins to dance, it always gets me. Not an easy dance to do justice to, though. I know it's always been Odette's dream to perform this piece, but I'm not sure she's really ready.
In that case, I think that even if she is Lelik, we should wait until her performance is over before... I'll let you take it from here, comrade.
Full throttle!
Rev the engines!
Sounds like you've made a ton of progress today. It's good that everything's going so smooth. Next step is to head back to the theater and get a clear answer from Odette. Either way, Paimon doesn't get the sense that she's a bad person. Sure, she might have done some pretty extreme things, but Paimon bet she has her reason. Maybe this is going too far, but like, with everything she's managed to do so far, wouldn't it make more sense in theory to be even more, you know, heavy? Why leave a letter when she could, well, we know there are plenty of other ways to keep people in line, right? The point is, she could have gone further, but she didn't. So, if it is her, she's got some principles at least. Yeah! Well, all you can do is follow the facts wherever they lead. No change, really. But that thing Paimon told you about yesterday? Paimon feels like she can sense... Hearing you talk about your day makes Paimon itch for an adventure. If only she could be there with you so we could experience...
Yeah, I wish you could be there too. I'm not used to adventuring alone. But don't worry, we'll get to the bottom of it.
Guess it's just one of those things. Never mind. Paimon will behave herself and keep...
If Odette is Lelik, she may well have inside information on project. Her father was involved with the project's early implementation and tragically died in the process. Now, she's dedicated herself to bringing it to an end. It's hard to imagine she could have gotten this far without knowing anything at all about the Tsaritsa. When she spoke to us as a member of the Fatui, how much did she let on? And how much... Only time will tell. Maybe tomorrow, everything will be answered.
Hey look! It's snowing! Could be a tough day ahead. Make sure you wrap up warm tomorrow.
Whew. It sure is cold today. I wonder how much heavier the snow's gonna get. Here to see Odette? I just need to see your tickets for the... Perfect. Thank you. I'll hold on to your tickets. Come on in.
I think I'll leave the Lelic question until after the show's over. Child said he was originally going to come with Tonya. So I'm guessing Tonya's already here. Is there anyone here who looks like a Tonya? Let's see. It's a small audience. Makes sense for a preview. But wait, I do see some familiar. Mr. Chuganov's back again by the looks of it. Oh, and is that Mitya? And that Fatui officer, Valeri. Guess he must be playing cat and mouse with Mitya again. Oh no. It looks like the show's starting and I still haven't found Tonya. Never mind. I'll just have to take a seat.
Members of the audience, I'm a staff member here at the theater. Today's performance was a very special one for us, as it marks the first attempt in a long time to revive the classic Snezhnaya. To commemorate this occasion, we would love to take a group photo of the cast, crew, and audience members present today. Could I kindly ask the audience to please come up on...
All right, everyone, huddle in a little more. Now...
Are you quite satisfied, Mr. Energy Scientist? I rather hope you don't have any other escape plans to add to my workload.
What are you talking about, Sarge? This was simply my way of inviting you to watch Miss Odette's new show with me. And wasn't the performance spectacular? In the future, I heartily encourage you to take a leaf out of my book. Find some soul-nourishing pastimes to enrich your time outside of...
It was indeed a fine performance, but I must correct you on one point. This is not time outside of work.
Working hours and non-working hours are just a social construct. Human technology can never advance if we're too rigid in our thinking, so...
May we leave now?
Already? I mean, I was kinda hoping to soak up the atmosphere for a little longer, but... No? Okay, guess I'm pushing my luck. Didn't... Off we go then, Sarge. Back to the land of working hours.
That has to be her. She's the only person in the audience around Tonya's age. Excuse me, are you Huh? Your brother's busy today, so I took his ticket. Don't worry about him.
Oh, okay.
What's wrong? Are you...
No.
Maybe she caught a cold on the way here because of the weather.
I haven't seen snow like this in a long, long time.
I know. It's completely white out there. You can barely see a thing. I've never seen such heavy snow.
Let's wait it out for now. You'd be lucky not to freeze to death in this weather. Let alone...
Well, look at that. Maybe we shouldn't be in such a rush to get back after all. What do you think?
Let's wait and
why do you need to take it so seriously? Fate has given us this wonderful chance to take a break. We owe it to ourselves to make the most of it.
Come to think of it, there's a small inn not far from here that always keeps plenty of extra blankets on. I know the route well. Shall I head over and borrow a few blankets? That way, anyone in a hurry can wrap up warm for the journey back. Just remember to return them next time you're over this way.
Sir, there's really no need to go to all that trouble.
Hey, it's no trouble at all. Wait here, I'll be right back.
What a kind gentleman. Very good. My wife and daughter are waiting for me at home, so I shall be heading back as soon as I get my blanket.
So... are you expecting us to go back to the Armory Palace wrapped in blankets too?
Don't worry about that. I made arrangements in advance. Should I not return to the Armory Palace within 3.5 hours after Operation Showtime begins, an armed squad will be sent to collect us. They will escort us back. You are one of our key military personnel, so any weather-related risks must be eliminated.
Operation Showtime? So, wait. Every single time you drag me back to work when I sneak out, it's a whole... I gotta say, you've really turned this into quite a moral dilemma for me.
It's snowing pretty hard out there. I think you should stay here for now. You seem a little under the weather.
Sure. My brother might come pick me up in a bit anyway.
Time to get to work. I should head backstage and find Odette. I need to look her in the eye and ask her about...
Excuse me, are you looking for someone? Ah, a fan, I'm guessing? Today is just a dress rehearsal, so Miss Odette won't be meeting with fans. She's taking a well-earned rest right. Sorry, but that area is currently off limits to everyone except the cast.
Bad timing, I guess. Well, I might as well stick around. I doubt Odette will be leaving before the snow lets up.
What happened to the gentleman who went to fetch the blankets? How has he still not
I was thinking the same thing. It's still snowing very hard. Do you think something might have happened to him?
Whatever the reason for his delay, I must say I hate nothing more than people who make empty promises and fail to deliver. Well, I have to treat my employees like that on occasion, but that's different.
You seem anxious, Mr. Valeri.
It's been nearly 4 hours since I left the armory. The army should have arrived to extract us by now. They know how much I despise tardiness and disrupted plans. There's simply no reason that they shouldn't have shown up by now, barring exceptional circumstances.
Surely a snowstorm like this one counts as such.
Few things in this world can stop the Snezhnayan army, Mr. Mitya. And a snowstorm is certainly not one of them.
Why don't you go out and take a look? They might be right outside, waiting for your orders before they dare come in.
An absurd hypothesis. I have no intention of leaving your side for even a moment until I have escorted you back to the...
This doesn't look like an ordinary snowstorm to me. That guy who left earlier. It looked like he just vanished into thin air. Either that...
A man-eating snowstorm? Come on. Night hasn't even fallen yet. Spare...
Traveler, didn't know you were coming today. How come you didn't say anything? Oh, right. I assumed you were looking for me and Vodyanitsa. Odette's still backstage. Whoa, that's quite a snowstorm out there. I've been working backstage this whole time, so I didn't even notice. No wonder the audience...
Is weather like this rare, even in Snezhnaya?
Yeah, snow like this. I'm sure I've seen it out in the wild before, but actually, I take that back. I don't think I've seen snow this bad even in the wild. This is something else. It's not normal.
If even Alosha thinks snow like this isn't normal, could it have anything to do with that monster people have been talking about?
We can't stay cooped up here forever. Someone needs... No need. I have plenty of experience with snowstorms. Besides, I work here while you're an audience member. I should be the one to do it. Everyone by the door. Careful not to let the snow soak into your shoes. In a snowstorm, you gotta look after your toes about...
Heading out, my man? Be careful. I've been told the snowstorm eats people.
Thanks for the advice. I am planning to be careful. I just want to take a quick look at the
He's back! He's back! How was it? What's going on out?
Did you see any soldiers patrolling the area?
Something about this storm isn't right. There's no one out there. I didn't see a single soul. And something... This isn't your average snowstorm. I suspect it might be related to recent events in our nation.
Are you serious? So all of us are trapped here now?
You want to go outside and see? I, for one, am not risking my neck in that...
This just turned from a minor delay into a major hassle.
We can only hope that our friend who went to fetch the blankets just ditched us and went home.
Is it really that bad? But my daughter, I won't be able to read her a bedtime.
Huh? What are you all still doing? Whoa! It's snowing hard! So now we're stuck here? Oh, this is terrible! On the bright side, the theater's always well stocked with supplies. If the snow still doesn't let up as we get into the evening, you can spend the night here, everyone. At least, I assume that's alright? Fine by me.
This seems like a sensible backup plan under the circumstances. My thanks to the theater for being so accommodating.
What are you staring outside and praying for, my man?
Oh, Your Majesty the Tsaritsa, I beg you, please do not let tonight's snowstorm stop. This is a golden opportunity to spend the night under the same roof as the 2 top stars in all of Snezhnaya. It's a once-in-a-lifetime experience.
I think I've changed my mind. Sir, if you so much as look at us funny, you'll be seeing stars in a whole other way. Behave yourself, or you'll be begging for that blizzard.
It's getting colder. We need to keep the indoor temperature up. Close the door and lock it tight. Let's
I don't think it's ever been this lively backstage before. I didn't know you were coming today. Hey, have you seen Chuganov? I heard he was coming today. Have you spoken to...
I'm with you. This could be just the chance we need.
Yeah, I gotta figure out a way to coax some more intel out of him. I want to know why he suddenly changed his stance on Project Stuzha. What exactly happened before the most recent Vetch of...
For the Rokad, or just out of personal interest?
Shh! There are other people around. Don't say the R word.
I have to say, even though today was a rehearsal and there were some hiccups along the way, Miss Odette's performance was one of the best I've ever seen.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. Especially considering the weight of the subject matter. It takes a truly seasoned professional to do justice to a theme like love and regret. Do you think we were coming on too strong? Odette's a...
What about you? What did you think of today's performance? Huh. That's actually a more insightful critique than I was expecting. My mother would agree. She's always thought that was my biggest flaw. Maybe I need to work on making my facial expressions appear more. I'll make sure to save a ticket for you when the show's performance ready.
This doesn't seem like the time or place to bring up the subject of Lelik. I need a chance to speak with her in private.
So unfair. Talk about double standards.
And now it looks like I've been spotted. You know Mitya too?
No, I don't. I just have a feeling that he might be dangerous.
This is highly irregular. A delay of over an hour during an
Sarge, the day you learn to let go and just enjoy moments like this is the day you'll finally... Why, hello, sir. I believe you were the one sitting at a nearby table back at... Any friend of the theater's star performers is a friend of mine. It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Mitya, from the Energy Commission.
Greetings. Major Valeri, head of the Special Assignments Battalion. I am here to ensure Mr. Mitya's personal safety. Please let me know if I can be...
Mr. Traveler, I cannot help but notice that Miss Odette is stealing glances at me. Any idea what that could be about? I've racked my brains, but I can't think of anything I might have done to offend her. Perhaps she noticed me spacing out during... What? You mean I really did do something to upset her? Well...
So, Mr. Mitya, is your work related to project...
Yes, that's right. The higher-ups in the Fatui transferred me from the Energy Commission to the Armory Palace because they... Really? I can't even talk about that? Pretty sure it counts as part of my private life. All right, I won't say anything. Sorry, Traveler. As you can see, I'm afraid this pleasant chat will have to end here.
And then there's the aristocrats. Easiest of all to deal with. You don't need to use any force
I don't.
Because nothing horrifies them more than the thought of a cheap, coarse rope leaving creases on their precious million Mora coat. They'll do whatever.
Unexpected, but funny nonetheless.
Well, look at that. I got myself a new listener. Hey there. Let me introduce myself. The name's Shram, and I'm a mercenary. The kind that gets paid to do odd jobs.
And I am Chuganov, an entrepreneur. If my name is unfamiliar...
Are you really that famous, Mr. Chuganov? How come I've never heard your name before?
Excuse me? Is that a joke? Or...
Oh, I'll have to ask my rope later. He's probably tied up more entrepreneurs than...
How are you feeling, Tonya?
I'm fine. Sorry to worry you. I'm used to it by this point. I take medicine for it. My brother usually helps to get it ready for me.
Child must take great care of his sister. He's never mentioned Tonya's illness, though.
You know, I actually find this whole thing kind of stuck in a strange place thanks to a snowstorm. Having to spend the night with a bunch of interesting characters. It's... exactly. It's like one of those stories where an ordinary school trip turns into a magical adventure. I've always wanted something like that to happen in real life. I'm fine, really.
Look after yourself.
My husband has major trust issues. To him, I doubt even this snowstorm is a good enough excuse for me to stay out all night.
That's the price of marrying into wealth. You'll get used to it. I'm not about to stop you if you want to leave. But don't drag me along. Hello? Can I...
How's it looking, Alosha?
No change from this afternoon. Heavy snow with no sign of slowing down.
May I have your attention, please? The storm is unlikely to stop tonight, and it'll be even more dangerous outside at night than it was during the day. We at the theater owe everyone here a duty of care. Therefore, we strongly suggest that you stay on site overnight and avoid in a few short
I'll pass on sleeping on the stage. What if the snow is stopped by tomorrow morning? The early birds in the audience might think we're part of some experimental new show.
A drama about sleeping? That could be fun. Maybe we could come up with a title for the production.
What? Gotta admit, I didn't get that one.
Anyone who doesn't wish to sleep on the stage, please follow me. I'll show you to the rooms.
I guess I'll call it a night. Though I feel like I won't sleep very well without Paimon here. I'm sure she'll be worried that I haven't made it back yet. But as long as she looks out the window, she'll probably realize what's holding. I wonder if she's feeling any better yet. At least she hasn't been getting any worse. Still, I should try and get back first thing tomorrow morning.
Ah, finally. Welcome back to the world of the living, lazy bones. Still waking up, huh? You know, the Black Mist. It's been chasing us from below ever since we were born. You're just dozy. There's no way you've forgotten. Come on, let's keep heading up. Onwards and upwards is the only way to survive.
Here we go again. The endless march toward survival.
What's going on? That black mist down there is creeping me out. And it's rising. Guess I should head upwards and get away from it.
The Black Mist cultists believe that being swallowed by the Black Mist leads to everlasting peace. But if you ask me, they're just lying to themselves. We're the only heretics left, the only ones who refuse to give in. We have to keep going.
But how do you actually know that they're wrong?
Dangerous question there, Torgov. The moment your faith wavers, you start a chain reaction that ends in the collapse of your will. Put the question out of your mind. Stay strong.
I can't do this anymore. I've had enough of being forever on the run. What's the point of it?
All this will pass eventually, I promise. Keep fighting. It will be worth it.
You accuse the Black Mist cultists of being liars. But you're lying too. There is no end to this path. It keeps going up forever.
The cult of the Black Mist has poisoned your mind, Sobolova. Are you thinking of giving up as well?
I am. I think I'll take my chances with the Black Mist over this
As much as I detest the Black Mist cultists, I'm just too...
Then I bid you both farewell. Let me put my personal opinion. Fate always appears so impossibly complicated. But at moments like this, their fate was sealed from the instant they entertained doubt. From then on, the outcome was both inevitable. Torgov and Sobolova are gone. I never thought the day would come when even they would... Yes, it looks like it's satisfied. This happens from time to time, but it won't be long before the Black Mist starts chasing survivors once again. No one knows how to stop its advance for good. Well, we should make the most of the precious moments of rest that those two... Huh? Are you really...
What is it, Chuganov? What's wrong?
Is it morning already? Sounds like it's coming from next door. I should...
Don't look, Miss Tonya. Stay here. Okay.
What happened to them?
These two people have passed away. And the strange thing is that somehow, I knew this was going to happen. Have I seen this moment before? Or Did I have some kind of premonition?
Let me take a look. No vital signs in either of them. The cause of death, however, remains unclear. No wounds on the bodies, no signs of a struggle, and no skin discoloration caused by the buildup of toxins.
But just last night, they were chatting and joking away.
Could they have had pre-existing medical conditions? Even then, the odds of them both dying of sudden complications on the same night are extremely...
It's hard to believe that they died of natural causes. Who was the first to discover the bodies?
It was me. But these deaths have nothing to do with me, officer. I got up early because I wanted to see if the snow had stopped. Then I noticed that the door to this room was open, and it looked like there was a man and woman inside. I just went over to see what was going on. I had no idea they were...
I can corroborate this. I was doing my morning exercises near the stage. When I saw Mr. Chuganov heading this way, I followed him. I can also confirm that I didn't see a single person approach that room before him.
The snowstorm was raging all night, and it's still going now. There's no way someone could have come in from outside.
You mean an intruder? No, not possible. I slept by the door last night as a precaution. There's no way I wouldn't have noticed if anyone had tried to...
Everyone, split into pairs and search the theater for anyone in hiding, or any signs of suspicious activity. I'll follow up with a full search of my own shortly. Go. There is no time to wait.
Nothing on your end?
Backstage is clear. No signs of... We checked the basement. Also clear.
Are we certain that the theater doesn't have a back door? Or any tunnel or passageway wide enough for a person?
No, there's nothing like that. If people were sneaking in through some secret tunnel to avoid buying a ticket, we'd have sealed it off ages ago. I also checked the windows. All of them are locked from the inside, and there's no sign of anyone entering or leaving.
It sounds like we can safely rule out the intruder theory. If anyone came in during the night in this weather, there'd be no way for them to avoid leaving footprints or water stains.
This can only mean one thing. It's like one of those murder mysteries you see in novels and plays, isn't it? The ones where the killer is...
We can't quite jump to that conclusion just yet.
Could he be right? It's hard to imagine something like that happen. Set in a theater during a snowstorm. A murder takes place, and the killer is among us. It's such a classic trope that it seems unbelievable.
Looking at who the killer targeted, and the clean entry and exit? It all adds up. I know what this is. It's obvious now that I think about it.
What is? What have you figured out?
Both victims were wealthy, well-known local merchants. And the door was deliberately left open, so I would discover the bodies and witness the crime scene. Such ruthless methods. This was your...
Lelik?
You mean Lelik is among us? And he's the killer?
Lelik. I know this code name. Member of the Rokot, anti-Project Stuzha. Always works alone. I've read the case file. Walk me through your reasoning, Mr. Chuganov.
What now, huh? What now, Lelik? What more do you want from me? I already voted against Project Stuzha at the Snezhnaya. You snuck into my house the other day while I was asleep. Left a threatening letter. And I did all that you asked. But Project Stuzha cannot be so easily shaken. Not...
So he really was threatened by Lelik.
And now you're resorting to murder to threaten me. Isn't that right? I knew it. The Rokot despises the rich. The lives of the wealthy are but refuse in your... Show yourself! Which...
Was this really Lelik's doing? Would Odette really do something like... If Odette really is Lelik, this seems out of character. But then again, how well do I really know her? I'm probably the only one here with a compelling theory about Lelik's true identity. But if I reveal it now, I'll be putting Odette in the line of fire. What should I do?
I don't think it's likely that Lelik killed anyone. At least from the stories I've heard. He's never killed anyone before. And his name has never come up in connection with any murder. Besides, even if Lelik did want to threaten you, why resort to such an extreme and roundabout method? It's not his style at all.
Vodyanitsa doesn't know that Lelik might be Odette, but her assessment is pretty much identical to mine.
Miss Vodyanitsa, why do you suddenly feel the need to speak in Lelik's defense?
Defense? Oh, no, it's just... I'm worried that we're jumping to conclusions here, so I wanted to share my point of view. Also, I don't think the Rokot is as bad as you're making it out to be.
Well, if you think I'm so wrong, what—
The case is still evolving, Mr. Chuganov. Please do not prevent others from expressing their opinions so early on in the discussion.
Even so, there's no denying that the recent threat received by Mr. Chuganov may well be an important clue.
So there's still a good chance that Lelik is right here among us. I can't do this anymore. I don't care if it's still snowing outside. I have to get out of here.
Whoa, take a beat. We all know it's far too dangerous out there. Even the soldiers couldn't get to us. Go out that door, and you might not live to tell the tale. And whoever this Lelik is, they're surely not going to murder anyone in broad daylight. Be sensible, my man. You're safe.
As much as I regret having to say this, I'd like everyone to cooperate and refrain from exiting the premises until further notice. Because as things stand, every one of us is now a suspect. Unless anyone has further information to share, let's adjourn for now. Feel free to keep searching for clues, but make sure you don't go off.
I still find it hard to believe there's a murderer among us. There's no guarantee that you can trust your classmates. Especially not when you're locked.
Why did they do this? Was it for money? Even then...
You're right, that was my bad. It was a knee-jerk reaction. I didn't think it through. Luckily, no one suspected my identity. Oh, phew. It's just you. I thought someone was eavesdropping.
Since Vodyanitsa and I were on the same page earlier, I think I should share my thoughts with the Rokot members first.
Whoa. Are you serious? I don't know if this counts as gossip, but it's definitely on track to be the juiciest this whole year. Odette? Really? Odette? Oh god, how dumb does this make me look? Lelik has been right under my nose this whole time, and I didn't notice.
Actually, it's exactly what you'd expect. Sometimes, hiding.
And now that you mention it, the more I think about it, the more sense it seems. What are we up to now? 1, 2, 3. Odette's identities. She's my coworker, specifically a ballerina, and also a Fatous, a member of the Rokot. Now, it must be so exhausting. I just want to give her a hug. I guess since I've always known her as a member of the Fatui, it never even crossed my mind that she could be involved with the Rokot. I don't understand. If she's with the Fatui, what reason could she have for being so opposed?
Probably best if you ask her that in person.
Well, since you waited until now to bring this up instead of announcing it to everyone, yeah. Lelik may not follow orders from the Rokot leadership, but as far as I'm concerned, she's never crossed the line. If anything, her actions we need to confront her face.
Do you think she'd really admit to being Lelik?
I don't know. We'll have to see how it goes. For now, we'll work on the assumption that she didn't kill anyone, and see how much she's willing to Now's her chance. Odette's alone. Hey, Odette! What is it, you guys? Shh! Keep your voice down. We need to talk. So, you're Lelik, aren't you? Alright, fine. You don't have to say anything or explain yourself. Just hear me out. None of us believes you kill innocent people. Whoever murdered those 2 people last night, it wasn't you. The Traveler was the first to figure out your identity, but he kept quiet during the discussion just now. Still, it's clear where the group consensus is heading. Everyone believes Lelik is the culprit. If your identity is exposed, you'll be in a really bad spot. We're your colleagues, and we know what kind of person you are. I don't want anything bad to happen to you, so can you clue us in? Tell us everything. The more we know, the more easily we'll be able to cover.
All right. Yes, I'm Lelik. And no, I'm not the murderer. And thanks, but I don't need you to cover for me. Actually, I'm planning to reveal my identity.
Huh? You're gonna reveal that you're Lelik?
That's right. I'll admit I was surprised at first when Chuganov guessed that I was here. It was just a lucky guess, but after taking some time to assess the situation and confirm where everyone stands, I don't believe I have anything to work.
Are you sure you don't need a second opinion?
Mr. Valeri!
What?!
I don't know what game you're playing, but you've got a lot of nerve.
It's just one identity. So what if it's exposed? I can disappear and adopt a new identity anytime I please. I made my peace with this when I chose to become Lelik, but more importantly, I promise I am not the murderer, which means that someone else is. So, if anyone still insists that I did this, you'd best produce the evidence now. Otherwise, I suggest that you bite your tongue. Because if you really believe I killed 2 people without making a sound or leaving a trace, pointing fingers at me would surely only make you my next—
Is this really the truth, Miss Odette?
That's confidence, all right.
A real no-nonsense attitude. I can see why Marionette said that she's on track to inherit the title of the Fair Lady.
Are you seriously buying this? Hey, officer! She just admitted to being Lelik. Aren't you going to do something about this?
I do have one question, Miss Odette. Why have you chosen this moment to come forward and—
If I didn't say anything, everyone would be focusing all their efforts on finding Lelik, and that is exactly what the real culprit wants. I don't want to be the scapegoat who lets the murderer get away with this.
Despite all the accusations, she made the smart choice. A remarkable display of rational thinking under pressure. Clearly, Odette's talent extends far beyond—
She thought so far ahead. Why do I always feel like I'm one step behind her in everything?
You've convinced me. Dealing with the murder case remains the top priority, right? Nevertheless, the group still considers you the prime suspect. I assume you have no quarrel with that, Miss Odette?
I understand. You're welcome to keep an eye on me around the clock. I have no objections.
Mr. Chuganov?
For my wife and daughter's sake, I'll let you off the hook for now. But don't think you're forgiven for breaking into my house and threatening me. Just wait till we get out of here, Lelik.
Good work, Lelik guard team. And Lelik, too. Here, have some hot water.
Turns out Valeri knew about my exploits. So now I've been told I have to guard Lelik with him.
Shouldn't you be facing my way if you're guarding me? At the moment, it looks more like you're my bodyguards.
If the true culprit is indeed still at large, as you have claimed, we must keep our guard up against—
Don't worry, Tonya. We'll get through this. Once the snow stops, the officials will step in. The investigation will get easier, and then we'll be safe. But once the snow stops, won't— You're gonna miss us, huh? Well, some of us work at the theater, so we'll still be here.
Really, Miss Vodyanitsa? That's awesome! You've made a fan for life.
Aw, you're so cute, Tonya. All right, let's swear to it. I promise to give you the pass, and you promise.
Don't indulge her, Tonya. You don't have to swear an oath over things like that.
You really do get carried away sometimes, don't you, Miss Vodyanitsa?
Hey, mind your own business.
Don't be nervous, Miss Wateramp. Everyone's here. There's nothing to be afraid of.
Excuse me? Do I look nervous? Don't be ridiculous.
No. You sound nervous, lass.
Oh. Wait, but how... Okay, plenty of people know that I'm a water imp, but still... How come you understand our primary mode of expression?
Primary mode of expression. I've not come across that concept before. Do enlighten me, Vodyanitsa.
Well, it's just... We water imps tend to communicate our emotions to each other by singing, rather than facial expression. The emotions we convey through song take precedence over our facial expressions. So, we think of it as our primary mode of expression.
I'm impressed, Shram. I didn't take you for a man of culture, but you're clearly rather learned.
It's not about being cultured or not. The thing is, this mode of expression can usually only be understood by other water imps. It's not a simple case of a song sounding happy or sad. And yet, you're clearly human, Mr. Shram.
It's really not the big deal you're making it out to be. I think I just have a knack for it. Plus, I have a... very close friend who's a water imp. A delightful lady. But keep that a secret. Anyway, we spent so much time together that before I knew it, I noticed I could understand her expression.
Oh, I guess that makes sense. Still, the fact that you have a water imp friend is even more surprising. I'd better watch what I'm singing when I'm around you from now.
Hey, what are you implying? You're not secretly insulting the audience in your songs, are you?
Heavens, why would I do a thing like that?
It's getting late. We should discuss our...
I suggest that we don't sleep in separate quarters tonight. It will be safer if we all...
As long as someone keeps an eye on Lelik, I'm quite sure we won't have...
Are you saying that you wish to bet your life on Miss Odette being the killer?
Nonsense!
Then I propose the following arrangement for tonight. The Traveler, Odette, and I will form the Night Watch. We'll sleep in shifts, but two of us must be awake at any given time.
An excellent idea. This allows us to handle the night watch while also keeping an eye on Lelik. Meanwhile, the rule of taking shifts in pairs resolves the other issue. Namely that we can't necessarily trust the Traveler or Valeri either. I expect that plan took you quite some time to come up with, didn't it?
Actually, our field combat manual outlines a similar approach. Although the scenario there involves guarding prisoners overnight during field operation. That being said, I must clarify that I harbor no disrespect towards you personally, Miss Odette. In fact, Lelic's numerous covert operations make fine textbook examples for military.
I care less about respect and more about the fact that you just robbed me of 2/3 of my sleep tonight. I'm calling dibs on being the first to rest. Good night.
It's almost time. We should wake Odette. How are you faring? Oh, not going to argue with that. I'll take a quick nap. If you start to feel sleepy, wake.
It's finally time for Odette and I to share the night watch. I should wake her. I came here to get information from her in the first place. Maybe I should think about what question.
How long are you gonna keep staring at me? Couldn't sleep. My mind's been running hate. Plus, there's something I've been meaning to talk to you about. I had a hunch that you wanted a conversation too. Let's take this chance to clear the... I just had a simple question for you, really. It's Rosaline. In her final moments, did she have any last words or anything? I see. Well, that was all. No, she was utterly ruthless in pursuing her goals. And yet, even though I never approved of her methods, and she was an abrasive person. Oh, she told you. I guess that makes sense. I think she and Rosaline were on pretty good terms. Yes. Rosaline wasn't the kind to gossip about this sort of thing. Not that it's any huge... When I was a child, I had to join the Fatui for the sake of my mother and me. It was extremely grueling, and it didn't exactly come naturally to me. All I could do was try to ignore the biting. I was a newcomer who'd managed to make a good first impression on a harbinger. There was pressure to live up to her expectation. Every day was a struggle against the cold, pain, and fatigue. And most nights, I struggled. After enduring all that, I've become almost immune to the sensation of pain. I suppose that was the cost. Surely, any child who had to experience that would grow to hate her lot. So, I put an equal amount of effort into my ballet. Because in my young mind, that was the only way to It was my way of telling her. The Fatui's demands and your expectations of me are not what I wish for. I think she probably blamed my poor performance in training on my passion for ballet. She knew one time, when I was secretly practicing a dance at night, she suddenly showed up. I knew she was there to catch me red-handed. I told her, "You don't deserve to watch the dance I learned from my..." She looked stunned. I guess she was surprised that I lashed out first, before she had the chance. But strangely enough, on that occasion, she wasn't fierce with me like she was during training. Instead, she fell silent for a moment. After that, she never interfered with my dancing or asked me how it was going. She never came to watch me dance again either. She was. But even now, whenever I take out this core Ignis, I can't help but think of that night. Of the look on her face. Sort of. Although gift might be too kind a term. This is her flame sealed within ice. A symbol of her favor, yes. She knew the location of every piece of core Ignis. If any recipient started acting suspiciously, she'd be on to them immediately. So, when news of Rosaline's death reached Snezhnaya, many people immediately crushed their core Ignis. It gave them a profound sense of relief, like they'd broken free from her shackle. But I kept mine. With my sensitivity to pain being as dull as it is, the warmth from this core Ignis is one of the few things I can still feel clear. I still wonder, did she really come to stop me that night? I wasn't sure, but I was scared. So I said some really awful... I guess she didn't leave anything behind. Not that I expected her to. It's fine. It's just a bit of a shame that we couldn't settle our differences. She did. Are you sure she was talking about this event? No, she didn't. I didn't even find out that she'd gone to Mondstadt until a while after she'd left. Wait, in that case... Okay, I will. Thanks.
There's something I'm trying to figure out. I'm beginning to suspect that Paimon's mystery illness is being caused by the energy research behind Project Stu. Paimon's very important to me, so I have to get to the bottom of this. I figured that since you're Lelik, you might know something about all...
The ultimate goal of this energy experiment is to create a weapon for the fight. The weapon's construction was completed in Nodcry. Now, all that remains is to arm it with a sufficiently powerful... Yes. The weapon's development and all the related experiments are overseen by Lord Piero, the Jester, and the lab is located deep within the Armory Palace. I'm not sure why this experiment would be making Paimon feel unwell, though. The best way to get to the bottom of it would be to go there in person. Once we get out of here, I'll help you apply for an entry permit. And I'm hardly the organization's proudest member, as you know. You answered my question about Rosaline. I want to do you a favor in return. It's that simple.
What's wrong?
You two seem to be hitting it off.
I thought you were sleeping.
Of course I was. In the military, one learns to fall asleep quickly, even in the most inhospitable environments. It's vital to staying alert and energized. Why? Is something wrong?
Even if he was awake, he can't have overheard us.
Well, thank you both for keeping watch. Traveler, I'll take over for now. It's your turn to get some sleep.
Sure. This is our second night here, but at least I've found out a little more about Paimon. I hope she's been sleeping well the past couple of days. Why do I feel like... Seriously? Is this payback for when I stared at her earlier? But I thought she was asleep. Never mind. I'd better try and get some sleep myself.
Hey, what are you spacing out for? Are you reaching your limit too?
How long have we been walking for? Do you remember?
Time's lost all meaning. Ever since we noticed that thing above...
A star key? Or key star? Anyway, the person who named it was swallowed by the Black Myth.
Whatever it's called. Ever since we noticed it, we've been walking up and up, hoping that as long as we reach it, we can find a way out. But it seems like no matter how far we walk, we never get a...
Well, we've come this far. You never know. Maybe we're almost there? Come on, enough moping. Let's go.
We got ourselves a straggler.
Monsters! Watch out!
Not again! I've lost count of how many times we run into them. Be careful.
Hey, tough guy.
Shut up! Run faster.
Condense! Backup is here.
We got ourselves a...
You want to fight? Let's go! Gonna cleave ya! Having second thoughts? What the? What the way? In case!
We got ourselves a strike.
Monsters ahead of us. The black mist behind us. Feels like there's no escape.
Shut up! Run faster.
In case!
Learned!
Are you hurt, Coolish?
No. I'm fine.
I get you.
Yeah. The hope that the star gives us is the only thing keeping us going. But I'm not sure it's real at all. It may just be a collective illusion. Otherwise, why would it always be out of reach?
We know you mean well, but you're only saying that to try and encourage us to keep going, aren't you?
Thank you, friend. But enough is enough. Please don't give me any more false hope. Hope is... You're going to continue, aren't you? I admire that. I've given up, but I wish you the best. May there come a day that you catch up to the star and leave this godforsaken place.
It's not an illusion. We really are getting closer to the star.
Congratulations. You're the first person to make it here. I'm the star's envoy. The black mist has stopped rising. Its hunger is satisfied for now. Having devoured your... This is a good opportunity. I'll let you get some rest before we continue. What do you mean, leave? The star represents the starting point. It's the waypoint for the beginning. Congratulations on reaching the starting point. Once you are ready, we will head out and walk... Huh? What's wrong?
Rampana! Rampana!
Is that... Vodian?
Coolish, wake up!
The situation is identical to that of the 2 casualties yesterday. We cannot ascertain the...
At least there are some elements that we can rule out this time. They slept on the stage with everyone else. So I suppose the surrounding environment can't be a relevant variable.
Rampana. Kula.
Weren't some of us keeping watch last night? 3 of us.
I'm as confused as you are. Certainly nothing unusual happened on my watch.
Likewise, and from what I've observed so far, both Miss Odette and the Traveler can be trusted.
To be honest, I didn't get a wink of sleep last night. I couldn't help but think I was the target. So I just laid there with my eyes closed. I heard the Traveler and Lelik chatting, but otherwise I don't recall hearing any commotion during the night.
Me too. I didn't want to wake everyone up, so I was concentrating hard, trying not to cough. I hardly slept.
Then, what could possibly be causing this? Once was bad enough. I can't believe it happened again. I worked closely with Rampana and Coolish for so long. I never imagined that one day they'd...
4 victims in just 2 days. And we still don't have a single... I need to get to the bottom of this as soon as possible. And above all, keep Tonya safe. I'd never be able to look Child in the eye again, up.
Still snowing?
Yes, I just checked. Still no sign of...
So we only have ourselves to rely.
If you ask me, this killer can clearly strike whenever they please. The Night Watch was a useless endeavor from the... Lelik must be an expert in poisoning. Clearly she used some poison that can't be
Here we go again.
Listen, I was already thinking to myself last night, was Lelik's reason for revealing her identity the real story? Well, now I have my answer. She's been playing us for fools. You get off on this, don't you? Revealing your identity, only to carry on with your...
That's a hideous thought. One that only a hideous mind like yours...
How dare...
That's enough! Yesterday, you named Lelik as a suspect because the victims were both wealthy merchants. Lelik might have had a motive then, but today's victims were just ordinary people. Not to mention that they were colleagues of Odette and mine. What reason would she have to murder them? Let me guess.
Who knows? Maybe you don't know her as well as you think. I implore you all to ask yourselves, how many people are there really in this world that have what it takes to kill another person? Not many! Lelik is well known to be a ruthless operator, and now she has revealed her identity. How could it be any more obvious?
Everything you said so far is still just conjecture, which doesn't constitute a concrete lead. You need to back up your claims with some evidence.
How can you defend her, officer? What did she say to you while you were on night? Maybe I shouldn't be so surprised. You military types are always colluding with criminals to target the rich. All so you can get your grubby paws on our hard-earned fortunes. Then tell us to fall in line. The Fatui, the Druzhna, and the Rokot. Thugs, the lot of you. Don't you dare.
Sir, but... You were the one who told us not to stop other people from expressing... 4 people have already died. Only yesterday I was chatting with Mr. Coolish. Then we woke up in the morning. Turning against one another is the last thing we should be doing.
Little girl.
Even if Mr. Chuganov is a puffed-up, pig-headed windbag who doesn't have a clue what he's talking about, he's still one of the victims here.
I had no intention of resorting to violence. But you're right, Miss Tonya. I ought not prevent him from speaking his mind. In any case, I believe Mr. Chuganov has calmed down a little now. We may resume our
I don't think there's any need for that. What is there to discuss? Nothing about this situation.
Did you have an idea, Mitya? You're the brainiac.
I've been mulling something over. All the leads we have so far concern things from outside the theater, but then there's the 2 double murder crime scenes themselves, which have given us absolutely nothing to go on whatsoever. That's highly unusual. Even with the most careful killers, there's always some evidence left behind.
So what are you suggesting?
I think this could be a supernatural event. It isn't characteristic of human-on-human homicide at all.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but aren't you supposed to be a scientist? That doesn't sound like a conclusion someone like you is supposed to make.
I got into scientific research because of my insatiable curiosity. But if the present situation defies all known scientific explanations, I don't mind shifting my curiosity toward the paranormal instead.
Now that you mention it, I remember when I first came to the theater. I heard rumors about this place being haunted.
Yeah, I think I heard the same thing. But I mean, they're only rumors, right? We've worked here for years.
Well, this has taken an unexpected turn. A haunted theater? If Paimon were here, she'd probably be hiding behind.
Why don't we take this opportunity to look for clues again with a more open mind? Maybe a different perspective will help.
Very well. Whether it's criminals or ghosts we're looking for, the same rules apply. Everyone needs to tread carefully. I'll move the bodies into the same room for now.
Valeri, come take a look at this.
Some sort of notebook. What is it for?
It's the on-duty logbook for the theater. Coolish was he mostly used it to record any unusual incidents during a show. Yes, he'd always have this logbook with him when he checked tickets at the end.
This should confirm a lot of key details about the recent show. So?
Yes. The number of people. I've checked and double-checked, but the numbers just don't. Apparently, we have an extra person among us.
Are we certain that logbook is accurate? Could someone have sneaked in without buying a ticket or
Unlikely. Coolish took his duties very seriously. I've rarely seen any errors in his work. Not to mention that this was a dress rehearsal, meaning smaller audience numbers and tighter ticket restrictions than usual. Everything.
We no longer have our tickets with us, do we? They got collected on entry. I assume there's no way we can check them again.
Unfortunately not. The theater recycles tickets. Once people are in the door, Still, I'm inclined to believe that this discrepancy in the head count is significant somehow.
Did an extra person just materialize out of thin air?
Ah, Traveler. Since you're here.
Alosha found it. We're both curious to hear your perspective. It appears to be an investigation report. And the focus of the investigation was the rumors of haunting we heard about earlier.
An investigation report, huh? Looks quite old. This person's name looks to be of Sumeru origin to me. Was the investigator from...
The theater manager must have hired an investigator once specifically to look into this issue. But it
Presumably, the manager wanted to know if the supposed haunting was dangerous, while also being fearful of word getting out in case it affected the theater's business. Anyway, the bottom line is, the haunting is actually real after all. It's caused by an obstruction in the ley lines.
Ley line problems are pretty unexceptional to me by this point. And while it certainly offers an explanation for the it's hard to imagine what connection it could have to these two murder cases.
Some of the language that appears at the very end of the report caught my eye. Angel civilization, ley line renovation? My area of research doesn't touch on any of that, so it's completely outside of my huh? A piece of paper just fell out from the report. It landed right by your feet. How unnerving. It was tucked inside the report, so it must be a note left by the author. Death is near. Is that supposed to be what's going on here? But if so, how did the author foresee it? Could he predict the future
Maybe things are more complicated than we thought.
No, wait a second. If we take the report and the note at face value, they completely contradict one another. The report definitively concludes that the hauntings in the theater are harmless and cannot affect the real world. But the note seems to be warning of potential danger. The question is, what exactly does the note mean by death? The various ways we could interpret this keyword lead in completely different directions. Let's pause our analysis here for now. I think we need more information.
Tonya, did you find anything?
Not yet. Still looking. So... Are we supposed to be looking for something paranormal? I think I'd prefer teaming up with you than looking around on my own.
This looks like somebody's notebook. Shall we...
Well, it doesn't look scary or anything. All right, let's read it together.
Huh. This has to be Vodianitsa's writing, sure.
Maybe it's a little rude for us to peek at this. I feel like I just read someone's secret diary by... It sounds like she's writing this for her parents, right? I don't understand. Why put this stuff?
Because her water imp parents belong to the aristocracy, who were driven out of Snezhnaya by the Tsaritsa long ago.
We're sorry.
It's fine. My fault for not storing it properly. I can't leave things lying around and expect them to get ignored when everyone's scouring the place for clues. All right, give me my notebook back. I'll take over the investigation.
Oh, God, and this one... Oh, my. Why am I so embarrassed?
If we take all this together, it's not impossible, is it? If anything...
Oh, I beg to differ. This sounds to me like a product of a researcher's vivid imagination. And perhaps it's because I'm still viewing this through the lens of a typical murder investigation.
Does it really sound that far-fetched? All right, well, let's treat that as speculation for now. I do agree with what you've said, so...
Good. Okay, now that we finally have some meaningful leads, I think it's time to reconvene. So, that's about everything we've discovered. I'll share my theory first. Based on what we've learned from the logbook, I believe the extra person among us is most likely that if the killer had simply bought a ticket, it would have greatly increased the risk of their identity being. I expect he or she either hid in the theater ahead of time, or found a way to slip past the ticket inspection.
What about the note found in the investigation report? Any thoughts on how that...
The killer may have simply planted it there as some sort of sick joke. I've seen my fair share of psychopathic killers. They love playing
So, it has nothing to do with the haunting of the theater after all.
This theory makes sense to me. If we have an audience member unaccounted for, chances are they didn't come here to watch the show.
Could it really be that simple?
So, in other words, all we have to do is find out who got in here without a ticket, and all our... Then let me make one thing clear. All the theater staff should be well aware that I came here for the rehearsal legitimately, yes? There's no way I'm the one who didn't have a ticket.
It's true. I hear you used every trick in the book to get a hold of that ticket, too. Everything short of throwing a temper tantrum and rolling around on the floor at the entrance.
I most certainly did not degrade my...
Probably a stupid question, but I might as well ask. Did anyone here get in without having their ticket checked? Guess it was naive of me to expect them to just admit to...
Especially after the unprompted Lelik reveal. Once was already a miracle. Twice would be unfathomable.
Tonya received her ticket the same way I did. I assume Child got both of them together. I don't believe any of us here knew Shram before all this. If no one can verify Shram's identity... Mr. Shram, did you really go through the ticket inspection to get in?
Huh? Me? Why am I being singled out, my friend? Do I seem that suspicious?
It's not that you stand out as suspicious, more that everyone else has been ruled out as trustworthy.
Okay. Well, we spent the best part of 2 days together now, so I'm sure you can all tell what kind of person I am. I'm a true gentleman. I never dream of doing something like sneaking to the theater without a ticket.
Yeah, I have no doubt that you're a good person. But the problem is, none of us here actually know you, so no one can say for sure that you are who you claim to be. Although, actually, what was it you said last night? Yeah, you're friends with that water imp, which is why you understand our primary mode of expression. Last time I checked, there were barely any of us remaining in Snezhnaya, since most of the water imps left. Could you tell me a little bit more about your friend? There's a good and I suppose it's also kind of a way for everyone else to get to know you a little.
Good grief. Are you blushing? Pull yourself together, man. Stop giggling like a teenage boy. It's
Hey, revolting is a little strong. All right, fine. I'll admit it. That water imp friend of mine, the truth is, we're dating. I was just the bodyguard hired by our family. But the stars must have aligned, because sparks began to fly between me and their daughter. Never in my wildest dreams did I think I'd get so lucky.
We don't need details. Just get to the point.
Okay. I'm just a little hesitant to reveal her name, that's all. You know how it is. Even with me to protect her. If word gets out that she's dating a human, both the Fae and human factions will give her a hard time.
Really? Wait, no.
Huh? Shram, what the devil are you talking about?
Why is everyone looking at me like that? Surely you can understand where I'm coming from.
Delicate times.
Yes? You know, the Civil War? Last time I checked, the Fae and the humans were still at each other's throats.
If I'm not mistaken, the last significant civil war in Snezhnayan history was over 400 years ago. when Her Majesty the Tsaritsa had just taken the throne and was consolidating her reign.
What do you mean, 400 years ago?
What's going on here? Is Shram from...
All right, Mr. Mitya, you win this round. As far-fetched as it is, it appears that your theory may be correct.
I'm just as amazed as you are. I didn't even believe it myself, to be honest.
Is someone going to explain what's going on here?
From the look on your face, you figured it out too, haven't you, Traveler?
The theater's ley lines have been modified to block souls within its grounds from returning to them. Some souls can even wander this place forever. Mr. Shram's statement proves he is from... And according to the investigation report on the theater hauntings, for some unknown reason, yeah, that must be the immediate reason why the ticket count... The contents of the investigation report have been verified. There are indeed ley line issues, and Wandering's death is near.
Yeah, the logic is clear now. The investigation report said that there would be... Mr. Shram must be one such soul who died in the theater a long time ago. In which case, that also makes him our extra person. So when the note said death is near, it must have been referring to death as in the deceased. People who died a long time ago.
Someone who died...
In short, there's a dead person among us. The extra person we've been searching for is a ghost.
You mean I'm a ghost? No. Don't make jokes like that, my man. There must be some mistake. But even if I was dead, I know for a fact I didn't kill anyone these past 2 nights.
Yeah, even if all that's true, the report also said the souls inside the theater can't affect reality, right?
Then what if the problem isn't the souls at all, but the ley lines themselves? The ley lines have a powerful ability to attract and devour souls. Let's say that the ley lines are like a black hole, constantly seeking to engulf souls. But the souls that don't want to return are trying to avoid being...
Why does this analogy...
What happens when the black hole can't achieve its goal?
That could explain why we weren't able to determine a cause of death. If you're right, and their souls were devoured by the ley lines, it does make sense.
It does seem to explain a lot of the things we couldn't make sense of. Does that mean it's true?
Except there's no concrete evidence. Mitya's Still, it seems like the best explanation we have under the
Alright, so how could Shram not know that he's dead? Seems a little unlikely that he hasn't noticed anything and you...
On the contrary, it's perfectly normal for a soul to wander the theater for centuries without questioning their existence or reason for being there.
You know what, Mr. Brainiac? I think you might actually be right after. I'm trying to remember and... Even though my head feels like it's going to explode, I think... I was the one who didn't want to remember my own death. So I forced myself to forget.
Well, I'm sure those are...
My lady and I snuck out to go on a date one day. We bought tickets for the theater. It wasn't really my thing, but I was just happy to be together. All of a sudden, a group of people burst into the theater, shouting for all the water imps to get out. Performers and audience members included. It was clear the conflict between humans and Fae had reached a boiling point. This time, the extremists were even coming after the water imps who had nothing to do with the war. I thought I could pull one over on them. So I took off my jacket, draped it over my lady, and tried to sneak out amid the chaos. But I got caught. They started shouting, calling me a traitor to humanity. But I was going to do whatever it took to buy our chance to escape, no matter how many people stood in my way. I had to, both as their bodyguard and out of love.
It's all right, friend. You can stop there if you want. You don't need to...
It's just... Even now, I'm still struggling to accept the truth. I'm... sorry, everyone. If I'd known I was a dead man walking, I wouldn't have dragged you down with me. If I'm the cause of all this death, then punish me however you see fit.
But...
No. I refuse to be a burden. I know what I have to do. You said I've been I guess it's high time I got a breath of fresh air. Out there, I mean. I'll leave this place and take all this death with me.
Mr. Schramm, I'm sure we can figure out a different course of action.
My good sir, we both know I'm not supposed to be here. I should have accepted my death long ago. One way or another, this has to end. Unless you're saying this goes against another one of your military principles.
No, I'm speaking on a personal level.
Let it go, man. Oh, wait. One last thing. Miss Wateramp. My lover. Her name was Litia. Litia Ozarova. Do you know what happened to her?
Ozarova. Oh, Auntie Ozarova. That's what we all called her. I remember her as a very kind elder. She had a bunch of kids, too.
I'm so glad she survived. And she had lots of kids? Good. That's... good. I could hardly expect her to stay single just because of what happened to me, right? As long as she went on to be happy. That's all that matters. Besides, I'm dead. My soul's been wandering around here for so long because I was worried about her. But now, I can go without regret. There's no need to see me off, my friends. I've enjoyed our time together over these past few days. Perhaps we'll meet again in the next life.
Take care.
I knew Mr. Schramm was already dead, but...
Death is cruel, no matter how we might try to make sense.
So, was the conflict between Fae and humans really that bad back then? I was only little, so I don't remember much. It's terrible to think that so many innocent people had their lives turned up. Even the historical records about that time period don't say much about it. All people know is that the Tsaritsa founded the Fatui, drove out most of the Fae aristocracy without explanation, then used her terrifying power to suppress the—
It seems to me like the Tsaritsa chose to make herself the enemy. She downplayed the conflict, directing whatever animosity both sides had for each other at her. That's also why, despite how brutal the conflict was at the time, there hasn't been much lingering tension between humans and Fae since. Things have been fairly harmonious for the past few centuries.
So, the Tsaritsa banished the Fae to protect the Fae living in the city?
Maybe it's not quite as bad as it sounds. I don't think Her Majesty is too concerned if mortals hate her or not. And besides, there are very few who—
All this time,
All right. If Mitia's theory is correct, then I think we can consider this matter settled.
Ugh, if only this blasted storm wasn't still raging up.
Looks like now we can just rest until the snowstorms. I still can't believe Schramm turned out to be a ghost who'd been in the theater for hundreds of years. To think he was dead this whole time.
Knock knock.
Huh?
Knock knock.
You know the door isn't closed, right? You don't have to knock.
Think of it as a signal then. When I'm entering someone else's room and I knock, I'm here as Odette. If I don't knock, it's Lelik. Thanks.
So, why did you come to find me? Is there something I can help?
Vodyanitsa said you knew about my secret identity, but when everyone was discussing who Lelik could be, you were worried that revealing what you knew would be unfair to me. So you kept... Yes.
It's nothing. I mean, you didn't hold what happened with Signora against me, so... I should thank you for that.
Actually, there's something else as well. I found myself in a situation similar to the one you were in when you helped, so I thought I'd come and ask you for advice. It's about me. Before all of this, the last time I saw him, he was dead. As I'm sure you know, my goal as Lelik was to stop Project Stuzha. Well, when I found out the tech lead for the experiment behind Project Stuzha was Mitya, I immediately started planning to track him down and threaten him to back out. I often saw him around the theater, but I soon concluded that making my move there would risk exposing my identity. So I decided to infiltrate the Armory Palace and go directly to his lab. Well, I suppose there was a bit of luck involved, but I am a Fatus, so I already had some familiarity with. But when I finally made it to his lab, Mitya seemed to be dead. I checked his breathing and his pulse. He had no vital signs whatsoever. I thought maybe another anti-Project Stuzha activist had beaten me to it, and chosen a much more brutal method. So I made my...
That's why you were so on guard around Mitya that first night here.
Yes. When I saw him sitting in the audience during the performance, I could barely contain the shock. To me, it was a miracle. Somehow, he'd come back from the dead. But then, the murders started happening and things got so complicated that it wasn't really at the front of my... That is, until Mitya himself said there must be a dead person among us. Then, I couldn't ignore it any longer.
And yet, you thought that bringing it up right away would single Mitya out. Just like whenever...
Exactly. I thought there could be something I was missing. Besides, we soon figured out that Mr. Schramm was a ghost. And we knew there was only one extra person. So we thought he had to be the one.
But now, it seems like there's another candidate. I understand why you kept it to yourself. There was so much information being thrown around during that discussion. Bringing up Mitya would have just introduced more confusion.
So, what do you think we should do?
Let me confirm one thing first. When was it that you found Mitya dead?
Around a week ago. Sometime in the afternoon.
A week ago? That's earlier than I thought. I saw him just a few days ago at a restaurant. That definitely would have been after you found him dead. He seemed completely normal to me. Chatting with Vodyanitsa, trying to avoid Valer...
So he was definitely alive on that day. Huh. Well, all I can say...
Here's a thought. The reason we even suspected a dead person could be among us was because of the problem with the theater's ley lines. But Mitya's death happened inside the Armory Palace. The ley lines affecting the theater shouldn't reach that far.
You're right. I guess he doesn't fit the profile of the person we were searching for.
I think the chances of it being him are very low. Surely he can't have died for real in the Armory Palace.
Unless what?
Unless he really did come back from the dead.
You're right. Do you think we need to disclose this to the...
Huh, what's this? A private meet and greet? Where do I line up?
That's not what's going on.
Well, I was just making the rounds. Thought I'd try to lighten the mood a bit. Vodyanitsa's handing out food if you're hungry.
What is going on with this storm? Could it be connected to that monster that just arrived in Snezhnaya?
I almost hope it is. Her Majesty the Tsaritsa left to vanquish that beast herself.
Do you think people still feel the cold after they die? I'm wondering about Shram. Oh, maybe we should have given him a coat before he went out there.
Death itself is cold, isn't it? I'm sure the storm will embrace him.
Well, I hope he has a safe journey. I'm going to miss him, I think. It's not like we can blame him for Rampa. Thinking back on it, we barely made it out alive. Once we get out of here, how are we going to explain what happened to their family?
Are you okay?
Look who's Mr. Nice Guy all of a sudden. Is it because Tonya stood up for you this morning? At least you know how to return a favor.
Yeah, without Tonya, who knows how badly he would have been hurt.
I told you already, I never intended to resort to...
Bunch of rascals. Little girl? I was rather surprised when you spoke up for me this morning. I didn't think I had many admirers here, so,
No need to thank me. I said some bad stuff about you.
I've been, too embarrassed to admit it, but, you remind so kind to everyone, but never lets her old man off the hook. Unless my wife and I are having a fight, then she's always on my side, especially when she was little. Every time I took her out... All right, easy now.
I don't know. It's probably been a...
Are you taking anything for it?
Yeah. I'll be fine once I see my brother. He's gonna pick some frost fairy flower leaves and brew a tonic for me. I'll feel much better.
I see. That's good.
We should probably discuss arrangements for tonight, now that the deceased has left. However, out of an abundance of caution, I'll...
Shouldn't we take shifts? I can take one if needed.
No need. I managed to get a nap in earlier, so I have plenty of energy right now.
What a long day. This whole situation turned out to be way more complicated than I... But Valeri's right. I should just try to calm down and get...
He's awake! He's awake! Get over here, you big lug, and take...
If you must call me something, call me Mr. Door. The Black Mist is coming. You need to go.
Are you all right? Can you walk? We just got attacked by monsters on our way up. That Mr. Door fellow, he just seemed to come out of nowhere. Not much of a talker, but when it comes to taking down... Curses! The Black Mist is catching up. Mr. Door, I don't believe I've ever seen you around here before. Why is that?
There's no need to try to get to know me. I'm just Mr. Door.
Looking for trouble? Quick, get rid of them!
I can just push these ones off.
Oh, well, anyway, we're lucky to have you here. Thanks for seeing us earlier.
No need to thank me. This is where my duty lies.
Halt! So we're doing this the hard way.
Encase! Fighting frog!
Oh, remarkable work, Mr. Door. If I had your muscles, I'd do the same. Are none of these doors the one you're looking for?
No.
Come no closer. By my command. By my command.
Cryostorm!
Impossible. By my command.
Encase!
By me.
Oh, goodness! Fighting frog!
Impossible.
I'm so... Wait, look! There's more No, no! Mr. Door, what are you doing? We need to get out of here.
Found it. This is my door.
What?
I am a door. This is where my duty lies.
No! You saved us. We can't leave you behind.
You must keep going. A door can only keep...
But... Oh, you're right. The black mist isn't moving anymore. Looks like both the monsters... I didn't just... Surely I wasn't so scared. Oh, okay, good. Getting sleepy?
What time is... I guess everyone's still asleep? These past 2 days have been exhausting. Valeri's keeping... Valeri?
Wake up! Everyone! Just like the last 2 nights. No clear cause. I've been a real thorn in your side, haven't I, Mr. Valeri? Now you can rest in peace. But for me, life will be all the duller for not having to run away from you, my friend.
How's Tonya? I just checked on her, and it doesn't seem like anything serious. She's just exhausted from the past couple of days, and she's still recovering from her illness.
That means Valeri was the only one who died last night.
If Valeri was awake and keeping watch, it would have been impossible to kill him without waking everyone else up.
This is so frustrating.
Actually, one thing has changed. There's only 1 victim this time, not 2.
That night even be defended against? After the deceased Shram left, there was 1 less victim last night. That more or less tracks. It's a reasonable conclusion, considering the number of people who die each night is
Exactly. We identified Mr. Shram, and the night after he left, by that logic, there must be 1 more dead person.
Another one? But there was only 1 person unaccounted for in the ticket.
Having an extra person was definitely a cause for alarm.
1 more dead person among us. If Mitya's theory is right, then what Odette told me, it's just, at the time, we had no reason to think there were... If only we'd taken it more seriously as a possibility.
I'm sorry. This is my fault. I had information that could have been...
I'm partly to blame as well. I was too quick to dismiss it.
What is this about? What have you two been getting up to?
Sounds like there's some big news you've been keeping from the rest of us. I'm the... wow, that's...
Odette and I talked about it yesterday, but we thought it just wasn't possible, so we left it at that.
Yeah, I don't blame you. If I'd been there, I probably would have reached the same conclusion. It just sounds too unbelievable. Let me just try and verify this. I just scoured my memories trying to think back to the afternoon Miss Odette mentioned, but I honestly have no recollection of dying. That's where I'm different than Mr.
Having seen Mr. Mitya a few days ago myself, I also find...
Well, if it isn't Mitya, then who?
If you don't mind me asking, Traveler, I believe you mentioned that you know Tonya's brother. Had you ever met her before all this?
No, never.
Now just 1 minute. I know where this is going. You can't just randomly point a finger at anyone you're in the hot seat, and all of a sudden you want to divert our suspicions on...
Trying to pick a fight, Mr. Chuganov? Whenever you open your mouth, all you do is attack people, and I've had enough of it. If you don't want to engage in a civil discussion, you can shut up.
You!
Did Mitya ask about Tonya because he suspects her? I suppose I only identified her by age, and nothing else. Could that...
I'm just saying. You're going around casting suspicion on people for no reason. I can vouch for her, if nothing else. I've seen her before. She's the sister of that Harbinger, isn't she?
Oh, really? You're telling the truth.
Since being here, I don't think I ever mentioned she was Child's sister specifically. Does Chuganov actually know her?
If Chuganov can vouch for her, then it can't be Tonya either. In which case, it seems unlikely that... Miss Odette, could you go over that afternoon with me one more time?
No problem.
No matter how hard I try, I just can't. Miss Vojanitsa, during our last meal together, I told you how some of the researchers were suffering from temporary memory loss. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah. You said it was hindering the progress of your...
Right. And even though I don't remember dying that day, I'm pretty sure I experienced something like some of my memories from that afternoon are
Are you suggesting you're missing the memory of...
Of course. How am I only just realizing this? Humans aren't necessarily aware of their own death.
You mean being silently assassinated, or dying in your sleep? Situations like that?
The researcher's amnesia. Suddenly it all makes sense. I must thank you, Odette. I think your perspective... All right. It's decided then. I'll be the...
Oh, leave! Hey!
Come on, kid. Aren't you gonna fight for your life? This seems like a rash...
I have other reasons beyond what's been discussed. In fact, I remember during Miss Odette's performance, while I was sitting in the audience stalls, a brilliant new idea for my research popped into my mind. But then, my train of thought suddenly cut off. I can't remember it now at all, and I didn't take any notes. I guess that must be another instance of temporary amnesia.
No. Hold on. I see where you're going with this. You're suggesting that each instance of temporary amnesia is a death, right? There's a glaringly obvious flaw in that idea, no? How can one
I believe Miss Odette's account. During the period where my memory is blank, I must have been either dead or in a similar state. All it would take is for the same thing to happen in the theater, and I would come under the effect of the ley lines in this vicinity. This increases the likelihood of me being the deceased, does it not?
But...
There's no evidence to suggest that anyone other than me is a candidate for the deceased. So allow me, as a scientist, to treat this as an experiment. Please relax, everyone. I don't think things are as bad as they may seem. If I really am the deceased, then to leave the theater will be a relief. If, on the other hand, I'm still alive right now, well, apparently you've all witnessed my resurrection recently anyway. Who's to say I won't return from the dead again this?
Mitya's right. This is the only thing we can try right now. I think he's deliberately downplaying the gravity of the situation, though.
What is a scientist if not someone who gambles on experiment after experiment with this snowstorm, the ley line phenomenon, ghosts of the dead, and my amnesia? We've been paralyzed by not kn- But if I do get resurrected, you can be sure that I'll come back with the truth of all this. Just...
Poor Mr. Mitya. I didn't even get to
Maybe it's a good thing that you weren't there to see it. It was a hard...
I hate goodbyes. Why does it feel like everyone around me is slowly
Maybe it's the realization that, at the end of life, everyone has to face it alone. Come to think of it, the main reason we're still alive right now is pure luck. Each morning here, for every one of us, there's the chance that we might not wake up. You could take it a step further and say that the same is true outside, too. Who can ever be 100% sure when they drift off to sleep that they'll open their eyes again If I make it out of here, I'm going to cherish every moment that I'm awake and live without
regrets. I feel like a strange sense of anxiety has been quietly growing inside me.
Are you okay?
If something's bugging you, let's talk about it. There's only a few of us left here now. After everything we've been through...
I have a travel companion named Paimon. Alosha and Odette have met her before. She's been feeling unwell recently.
You're worried about her, aren't you? That makes sense. We've been trapped in here for days.
To be honest, I used to feel like I was just a spectator in this world, watching everything that happens from the sidelines. Maybe it's because I'm a descender.
A descender?
But with Paimon by my side, over time, I slowly felt my connection to this world growing stronger. She loves eating, sleeping, and having fun, but she's also... Over the last few days that we've been apart, I've often caught myself wondering, what would Paimon say if she were here right now? But by the time I snap out of it, the conversation has already moved on. And I'm still in my own... I'm trying to overcome this sense of detachment, but I really miss Paimon. I guess, in a way, she means the whole world to me.
I bet she misses you when you're not there as well.
I don't know if this will make you feel any better, but back when the water imps left Snezhnaya in droves, I also felt like the whole world was... I could be surrounded by people, all smiling and having fun, and still feel completely separate from it. So, later on I started to think, maybe accepting the fact that our loved ones won't always be with us is something all we can do is cherish their companionship. So, once we get out of here, you better hurry back to our side as fast as you can. You can't let your story end in...
Thank you. That's exactly what...
But, Voryanitsa, if you hate goodbyes too, what?
That's just the choice I made. I used to regret it. Like I said before, singing is a water imp's primary mode of expression. It's our songs have echoed through this theater for hundreds of years. Each one is... But does a story exist without someone to read it? So I made the choice to stay. That way, there would still be someone left to sing these songs and listen.
Could you teach me how to understand your people's songs sometime? I want to be able to truly hear them, like Mr. Shram.
A fan after my own heart. Thank you, Tonya. How about I sing something for you?
Okay. never heard that one before. I feel like I can hear—
Color me impressed, Tonya. Most people can only tell if a song is happy or sad. I didn't think you'd be able to pick up.
So...
I've actually never performed this song in the theater before, because it has more of a ceremonial purpose for our people. It means something like, "May those we have lost watch over us, and follow this song back home in the night, so that we—"
No wonder I could hear that sense of longing. You sing it for loved ones who have passed away.
It's getting late, Tonya, and you're not well. We should have—
Okay. But, before I go to bed—
Of course!
Once I get out of here, I definitely don't plan on ever coming back. But I guess that means I'll never get to hear Vodia Needs Us sing again. Before I fall asleep, I should cherish this moment of companionship while it lasts. It's so dark in here. Huh? What was that?
Return, O spirits. Fulfill your oath of protection.
I'm alive? What just happened?
No time for questions. Quick, over here. Turn on the switch. We need to bring back... Alright, we're safe. The spirit just now is, sort of. I know it's hard, but you can't let this place go dark, or she'll kill you again. Yup. Luckily, I was here to resurrect you. Otherwise, that'd have been a real bummer.
A bit more than a bummer, I'd say. Wait, so... you...
Sure I do. I'm your guardian spirit after all. I specialize in soul recall. Oh, it's nice to meet you, by the way.
Thanks.
Alright, there's no time to waste. The black mist is already catching up. We need to avoid it at night prayer at all costs. We need to reach the next switch before the place gets too dark. If we bring the light back, night prayer won't be able to get to us. Sweet, sweet light! It's back! Shh! It's night prayer. We need to move quick, but don't let her notice you. Look out! The next switch is over there. No, night prayer is here too. This can't be the only path. Let's head up there and take a look. The switch is just up ahead. Hurry! It's too dark. We're not... Traveler! I won't let you die like this.
Even though it's not permanent, dying is definitely...
Great.
Yeah, thanks to you.
Time for you to get out of here.
What about you? You're not
I can't. I've already been used up. A guardian spirit's skills are finite. I can only resurrect someone's... I might not look any different, but my essence has been exhausted. Now, I can go no further. The black mist is where...
Why didn't you tell me sooner?
Because it wouldn't have changed anything. That knowledge would have just burdened you.
But...
Go.
What do you need, sir?
Well, I guess there's no need to
This wasn't supposed to happen. You lied to us, didn't you, Chuganov? You've been lying from the
Take a long, hard look at yourself before you go around I suspected you on day one, Lelik, and now look where we are. By some strange coincidence, you've never been targeted. You just happen to have survived this long? No, you... And you, little hunter, ever so content with staying on the sideline.
Now you're just lashing out indiscriminately. That's either a sign of anxiety or a guilty Where was all this passion and bravado before? Decided to fight until the bitter end.
Is that a threat? Fine, bring it on. You think I'm afraid to die after all this? You want to kill me? Go ahead.
After all the trauma of the past few days, everyone's been pushed. Valeria and Mitya aren't here anymore. Someone else needs to step up. But first, I need to think this through. Considering everyone left, who's the most likely candidate for the... Of those who remain, the only person we've never met before is Tonya. There is room to doubt her true identity. People are easily misled by first impressions. Now that I think about it, Child's sister was in fact a label I imposed on her due to my own assumption. But Mr. Chuganov vouched for Tonya's identity yesterday. Tonya, how's Tusser been lately?
Tusser?
Your brother Ajax must have mentioned me in his letters home, right? Did he say anything about a blonde
No. And my brother's name is Razik, not Ajax.
Chuganov, looks like it's your turn to do some explaining. Yesterday, you said you could vouch for Tonya. Why did you give us a false testimony?
I knew you were behind this, Chuganov. You've been lying through your teeth from the start. Everything about you is fake. Down to the wife and daughter you're always talking about. Your entire That night, when I infiltrated your place as Lelik, I noticed you were home alone. Didn't think much of it at the time. Just thought everyone else. But thinking back on it now, that doesn't seem very likely. My guess is...
Even that was a lie? But why would he lie about having a
Curses! Oh, why is there no end to this blasted snowstorm?
I think I remember now. I know how I ended up here. It feels like the reason I'm always coughing is because I got sick with frostbite. The locals usually call it the snow cough. It's not a very common illness. It's partly genetic and partly caused by the cold climate, but it can be fatal. They sent me to the hospital as soon as they found out I had it, and I spent After a while, I felt myself growing weaker and weaker. Nothing seemed to be working anymore, so one day, I told my brother that I wanted him to take me outside for once, so things could be like they used to, just for one day. I wanted to meet loads of friends. He agreed. He snuck me out of We got to the theater, bought tickets, and went inside. Oh, it was all so exciting. I remember the show very clearly. It was amazing.
Oh,
When I woke up, I couldn't find my brother anywhere. So I guessed But there's no way he'd leave me behind. So I decided to stay here and wait for him. At the time, I figured he'd probably gone to brew some more medicine for me. Tonya, it sounds like by then you'd already... Yeah, I know. I understand now. After all of that, it turns out I can't blame my brother after all. I'm sorry, everyone. I realized this much too late. It seems like death skewed my
Your name probably isn't even Tonya, is it? Didn't that ever strike you as odd over the last few...
Well, when I was little, my brother and I read a storybook, and Tonya's... When we escaped from the hospital, our family and the hospital security were looking So when you first approached me and said my brother had sent you, and called me Tonya, I thought he must have chosen a fake name that only the two of us would know. Because he was afraid of getting caught. At least your memory of death isn't painful. That is a small... Now it's your turn, Chuganov. Talk to us. I believe no lie is ever told.
You're right. I was lying. I happen to know that the Harbinger child and his sister Tonya managed to get tickets, so I lied to you and pretended I knew them. And yes, the truth of the matter is, I lost them a long time ago. I just refused to accept reality. And now I've spent this... My daughter's name was Iskra. And before you ask, yes, Iskra, as in Iskra Manufacturing Plant. She also died from the snow cough. She was just 6 years old after Iskra passed. My wife couldn't bear to face those memories either. So she chose to start a new life. One day when I came home from work and saw the empty room, I felt like I soon discovered that this was the only thing that made me feel any better, so...
Nothing more than a pathetic means of escapism, I know. But at least it's not a crime. So explain your false testimony.
The night before last, when I was chatting with Tonya, she mentioned that her brother would brew medicine for her. Combined with her various symptoms, I suddenly understood everything, including the fact that she was deceased. The snow cough used to be an incurable illness. I would pick frost fairy flower leaves to brew medicine for Iskra too. But the year after my daughter passed away, the jester of the Fatui announced that a cure for frost blight, also known... It turned out that all previous treatments were completely ineffective. That was the final straw for me. I just couldn't take it anymore. Just one more year. So, more than anyone, I know full well that in this day and age, no one in their right mind would still be using frost flower leaves to brew Poor Miss Tonya, therefore, had to have been from an era when snow cough was still a terminal...
So, you projected your daughter onto her?
That doesn't make any sense. You knew she was already dead.
I just don't believe in your crackpot theory. How can you just declare a living person dead and throw Nitia's gone? My good buddy Shram's gone. And now it's Tonia's turn. The others I can make my peace with. But little Miss Tonia, here she is, standing right. I just want her to live. Once this snowstorm is over, the very moment it stops, I'm going to march out that door and find someone who can fetch the very best medicine for her. I'll be damned if I'm gonna let you cast her out into the snowstorm. Not again! Not this time! Not when the cure is right with—
Mr. Chuganov, stop. By the sounds of it, you've known I was dead since the night. I really liked Mr. Valeri, Mr. Mitya, and Miss— I'm not happy about that. The reality is, you've been trying to fight your own demons through me. But all you've really done is trap me inside your delusion.
No! Listen to me.
Well, at this point, I'm quite sure that I'm dead. I don't need to be saved. Despite all the bad things that kept happening, I got to meet so many interesting people and spend so many days since the day I escaped that hospital until now. This has been an adventure I never even dared to dream of. I'm very fond of you all. If it were only possible, I'd trade my soul to bring back the ones who died. And that's why I'm not fond of you at all, Mr. It's them that you owe an apology to. Well then, I suppose this is it. It's time for my adventure to end. I've caused enough trouble.
You're leaving already? It's still early. Don't you want to stay
No, thank you. Oh, my name is Patoshka. It was nice meeting you all. Feels strange that we're only being properly introduced now that it's time to say goodbye.
Toshka.
What are you doing, Chuganov?
Let me leave. I can't keep lying to myself anymore.
In your dreams. Don't think you're getting off that easy when you had a hand in the deaths of so many. The Fatui have honed quite an array of enhanced interrogation techniques since they were founded. Once we're out of here, Lelik will personally give you it. I think we should leave. I doubt this snowstorm is ever going to stop. For all we know, this storm might have destroyed all of—
Wait, we finally solved the mystery of the haunted theater today. Maybe let's
Fair enough. I don't particularly feel like dying in Chuganov's company
And yet you won't let me die first.
Hey, Chuganov, on a serious note, if we do make it out of here, you should close down that factory of yours. A lot of people are freezing things.
Is this really the time to be discussing my factory? All right, fine. I'll shut it down. Doesn't matter.
Am I hearing things? There it is again. But
Should we open the door?
Is this it? If the last few days are anything to go by, I probably shouldn't be getting my hope. Whatever lies beyond that door at this moment. It could be something even more terrifying.
Hey, everyone.
How are you doing?
Much better, thanks. Whew, it is so good to have you guys here. I was a little worried that the theater would be empty by the time I got— Let me see. Tonia and Vodyanitsa died last night. And then you discovered that Tonia was the other dead—
Not Tonia.
First, tell us how you made it back here. Given the conditions—
You're right. The thing that got me back safely was a song. I heard someone singing. After walking into the snowstorm, my mind grew hazy. I don't know how long I walked through the storm before my mind completely slipped away. Then, suddenly, I heard the sound of singing. The voice instantly brought me back to my senses, and I regained consciousness. So I followed the voice, searching for the source of the singing. I searched and searched, until finally,
I've actually never performed this song in the theater before. Because it has more of a ceremonial, it means something like, "May those we have lost watch over us, and follow this song back home in the night, so that we—"
That must have been Vodyanitsa's Requiem. Who knew it?
That song is meant to guide the souls of the dead. Mitya, that must mean that you...
Huh. No kidding. Huh, seemed like I guessed right then. This is what I've been so desperate to tell you. When I first stepped out of the theater, I was still quite lucid. My memory of it is, I remember the outside world being completely different than what I'd expected. It was like, this was a world where only the snowstorm existed. There wasn't a trace of any humans. I don't know how else to describe it, except to say that, and as for the Requiem, if I was guided here by Vodyanitsa's song, it can only mean that I must already be dead. And this is but I didn't experience a clear moment of death while I was out there. Nor do I feel any different now than before I...
You don't seem any different to me either. In fact, this is something I've been wondering about for a while now. Both Shram and Patoshka were clearly deceased, and yet their soul...
This raises a truly terrible thought. Is that really... Dreams can't explain every... Mitya's soul was summoned back by the Requiem. Of course. If even the long distance... Then maybe we've all... Mitya said the outside is a...
Yes. I think that this is probably the afterlife.
What did you say?
You heard me. We died in the theater. All of us did. But due to an obstruction in the theater's ley lines, our souls are trapped here. It's ironic, really. All that time, we were working so hard to figure out who the deceased among us were, when the truth was, we were all deceased. The only difference being some of us died more recently than others. Do you remember that note, "Death is near"? Seems like we misunderstood what it meant after all. Death was nearer than we wanted to think all along. The note simply meant that all of us were already dead.
So all our attempts to survive...
Hard to say. At the very least, we helped 2 lost souls find clarity and go to where they belong. The presence of those 2 is probably what caused our souls to be drawn in by the ley lines. In which case, the deaths...
If what you're saying is true... Huh, no wonder. This afternoon, when I was moving Vodyanitsa...
That's further proof that those aren't physical bodies at all, but merely our shells.
Am I really dead? This doesn't feel real to me at all. No, that's impossible. This cannot be...
I still find it hard to believe that all of us are dead. How exactly did we die in the real world?
Not even knowing how we died is preposterous.
Exactly. It's hard to rest in peace when you don't even... I racked my brains trying to remember the cause of my death. The exact Wait. Hold on. Right before I lost consciousness, I think I saw some... I can't remember.
Mitya, your hand. Is that blood on your fingers?
Huh? You're right. There's blood on the fingertips of my right hand. Looks like it's already dried. When did that happen? What the... I guess... this was what I saw. I must have desperately drawn it in my own blood right before losing consciousness. What's wrong? Do you recognize the symbol?
It's... Renova. The ruler of death. Huh? Alosha, Do you still remember that Snezhnayan folktale you told me about? It was about the Grim Reaper. When someone's about to die, he appears as an incarnation of someone familiar, and as soon as you recognize his face...
I heard a similar tale when I was little. You think the Grim Reaper in this story refers to the ruler of death you mentioned?
That's right. In which case, death is near could also mean that the Grim Reaper is here disguised in a familiar
Death, the deceased, and the Grim Reaper? When I first saw this note, I thought it contradicted the investigation report.
So the Grim Reaper deliberately misled us. Then, we started suspecting each other and searched for the deceased while they hid.
By that logic, the one person most likely to be the Grim Reaper... Identifying the Grim Reaper is a major decision to make. I should think it over carefully. No doubt about it. Looking back at how everyone has acted over the past few days, Alosha is most likely... Is it you, Alosha? You were the first to discover the investigation report, and you had plenty of time to slip the note...
So? Surely you can't suspect me based on that. What if someone else found the investigation report first, slipped the note inside, and then put it back without telling anyone?
There's no denying it. The note could easily have been slipped in much...
That's not all. I've also noticed that although on the surface, Valeri, Mitya, and sometimes I were the ones taking charge of the situation, looking back now, even though you didn't say much, you were always subtly guiding everyone from the sideline.
What do you mean?
You were the one who emphasized how dangerous it was outside and insisted we all stay here. It was also you who suggested that we all sleep in the same place. And earlier today, you tried to convince Patashka to stay. I don't understand why, but it was out of character.
So, you didn't understand my intentions, and now you're assuming the worst. Seems pretty unreasonable if you ask.
He still won't admit it. Fine. Let's see how he responds to the most damning evidence.
The biggest question I have right now is, if the Grim Reaper is impersonating Alosha, then where's the real
No. The ruler of death would have needed to control however... That's right. This was right at the start, before any victims had even emerged. When all this began, right after the performance ended and the snowstorm began to pick up, no one suspected anything unusual. We just assumed we were... It wasn't until we discovered the bodies the morning after that we realized something out of the ordinary was... But it's clear now that the oddities actually started earlier than that, when Dimov walked into the snowstorm and never came back.
Right. So Mr. Dimov was the first victim, not Sobolova and Torgov.
And if we pinpoint that moment as the beginning of this incident, then one thing becomes clear. Alosha, you are the only person who walked into the snowstorm and came back without the help of Vodyanitsa's wreck.
More precisely, Alosha never came back at all. The one who came back was...
Not bad. Well, since you've backed me into a corner, I suppose there's no point in keeping up the act.
Alosha?
You're the Grim Reaper?
I am no such tired cliché. Mortals should address me as the ruler of death. Before being wiped out for good, you identified the two deceased, and even sensed my presence. A commendable achievement.
I heard you can ferry souls. Those deaths each night. Were they your doing?
Your initial conclusion was correct. Due to the existence of the two deceased, the ley lines yearned to reclaim those every night they devoured an equal number of souls to fill the void. This required no intervention from me. Though, of course, ferrying's here. Take a look.
What are you doing?
That takes care of today's two. Don't get so worked up.
I know we're already dead. You murdered us, didn't—
Murdered? No. Murder is when mortals usurp my authority. Death is my jurisdiction. If I require someone to die, you simply met the criteria to trigger my—
I know about the curse of immortality. So there's an— You cursed us? When? And—
So often, humans pray to me, begging to know when their death will come, and what form it will take. But few people ask why. If you must have an answer, know that death comes simply because one's time has come.
So you're not gonna tell us the truth?
Hold your tongue. By all rights, you shouldn't even be allowed to speak. Those angels from the past are to blame for the reckless renovation of the ley lines here. It's made my work on this occasion in—
Work? So trapping us here, making us watch our friends die, that's just another day at work for you?
You clearly have a lot of questions. Fine. As a reward for your remarkable accomplishments over the past few days, I shall answer a few of your inquiries. After the physical body dies, the soul must return to the ley lines for that. My work encompasses the entire process of death, including, naturally, the guiding of souls into the ley lines. You must also be rather familiar with Natlan's Night Kingdom, I presume? It was I who supported the creation of the Night Kingdom. It provided a convenient means of guiding the soul. Here, too, the ley lines connected to the theater underwent some modifications. The angels hoped to make them capable of— but this actually hindered their ability to accept. This effect manifested itself after you died from the curse in the theater, leaving you stranded in the afterlife, unable to achieve a complete death. But if souls who die from the curse of death fail to return to the ley lines within a short window of time, they will miss their chance for good. Then, they will remain forever suspended between life and death, no longer subject to the authority.
So if you don't resolve this matter soon, and see all our souls return to the ley lines before long, we'll escape your control.
Mitya sharp. This must be what Renova was worried might happen, and the reason she got involved. But if you have the authority to guide souls, why didn't you just show yourself and get it over with? Why hide among us in the—
You seek to understand the mind of a god. Very well. This is a theater, and I decided I wanted to watch a show about death. That's why I encouraged you to take the events to the stage. I found myself getting quite immersed. I suppose the entertainment you provided makes up for all the trouble you've caused me by being so defiant in the face of death. There. Are you happy?
Can't say I am.
Really? But it fits the stereotypes you humans have about God.
Just moments ago, you were complaining about how infuriatingly complicated your work here. Work is work, I get it. There are times when it's a huge pain, but you just have to get it done.
That's a rather unique perspective for a human. You are in fact correct. There is a pain point in it. Due to the obstruction in the theater's ley lines, there is a hard limit on the number of souls they can receive each day, making it impossible for me to ferry all. Revealing my identity too soon would inevitably have led to futile resistance. And there was a risk that any souls who chose to run would disappear. Then there was the issue of the two lost souls you called the deceased. The way you resolved that quandary was all—
That's what I don't understand. If all of us were souls of the dead, what made their presence among us special?
For centuries, they have refused to return to the ley lines. exploiting the issues created by the angel civil. Centuries of obsession accumulated during this process. You may think of this obsession as the resentment of the dead. It reached the point where I could not afford to leave it unchecked. But the only way to fix it was to help them acknowledge their own deaths, make peace with their regrets. Only then, with my guidance, could they finally return to the ley lines. Otherwise, you would not like to know what the consequences would have been.
I vaguely remember seeing Batashka, but in the most terrifying form. Was that in a dream? Is that what would have become of her if she hadn't returned?
I see your dreams brought you many revelations. So you see, death in fact grants wisdom to mortals. Souls connect to all things in the world. Anyway, giving psychological counseling to lost souls is not my strong suit. That is more of an angel's role. It was something I could not resolve directly using my Meanwhile, of course, their presence caused the souls of other members of your party to return to the ley lines each night. From where I stand, that was killing two birds. As both issues slowly resolved one another without me having to lift a finger, all I had to do was stay close by and keep the situation under control. And, of course, while I was at it, I thoroughly enjoyed watching this drama, dealing with death from a mortal perspective.
Sounds like you had it all figured out, Grim Reaper. I just did the math. You said there's a hard limit to the number of souls the ley lines here can receive each day.
That much is obvious, even to a fool.
It's time to review this whole affair. If the ley lines can only take in 2 people per day, I need to go over the deaths from these past few days again. Looking back now, none of us had the faintest idea at the time. From the moment that staff member named Demoff walked into the snowstorm, the incident had already begun. No, let me go. Let me... No. Let me go over this again. Alosha was the second to walk into the snowstorm after Demoff to investigate. During this process, the ruler of death assumed his identity, making him... During our first night in the theater, everyone was caught up in the novelty of it all. No one could have expected there would be victims the very next morning. Despite all the confusion, and with the help of hindsight, we finally began to realize that something was amiss with the snowstorm. The ley lines devoured Torgov and Sebulova on the first night. At the time, we thought this might be a murder case connected to Lelik. Odette and I spoke a lot that night. 3 people were on watch, but in the morning, we discovered that someone had fallen victim all the same. The deaths of Kulish and Rampana caused everyone to stop suspecting Lelik. Unexplainable phenomena. Later, we discovered that there seemed to be an extra person among us, and subsequently discovered the existence of the deceased. Mr. Schramm. He thought it was all a lot happened today. The fact that there was more than one deceased seemed to bring us back to square one. Odette revealed some information she had been keeping to herself. Although Mitya did the void in the ley line. As it happened, but the girl I thought... Vodyanitsa was swallowed by the ley lines in her... Come to think of it, and Renova, looking back... No one could have expected anyone who walked into the snowstorm to return. But just after nightfall, Mitya returned, bringing crucial information with him. Various truths began to surface, including that all of us were already dead, and that the ruler of death was here among us. Then, after revealing her true form, Renova callously claimed 2 souls. In fact, to everyone now, only... That covers everything.
Your work isn't finished here yet, is it?
The Water Imp's song threw things off a little. But the ley lines have already anchored your soul, and the first ray of light tomorrow morning will take you back. I, meanwhile, need to review my attitude to...
So the reunion in the night that Vodyanitsa mentioned, I suppose that was never meant to be a...
That just leaves you, traveler. My power only allows me to temporarily separate your soul from your body. The ley lines of... And your soul is firmly anchored to your body by your will. For a descender like you, who is not bound by Tevat's rule. I have no interest in involving myself with descenders. For now. Although, this may change if Asmodee remains missing. Or you insist on interfering with our affairs.
One last question then. All our struggles and sacrifices here, they were meaning...
Death abides no reason. Besides, what you call sacrifice is, to me, it is nothing more than a self-indulgent charade in the face of...
Grim Reaper, you really know how to get on my nerves.
I'm not here to ingratiate myself with you. I kill, merely because your deaths are necessary.
Oh, you've made that quite clear. But humans don't take well to being scorned. Not even by the gods.
This is futile. You must know that you are powerless against me in my own domain. I suggest that you save your strength.
For what? Maybe we can't change it. But if nothing else, we can at least teach you to have some respect for the dead.
Audacious.
How are you holding up?
What happened?
How much do you...
What do you mean?
Has Odette already... Mitya?
Oh, I'm sorry. I guess I spaced out there for a second.
Don't you remember anything?
Yeah, I remember now, comrade. Looks like we guessed right. Just like me when Odette found me at the Armory Palace. For some reason, everyone killed by the Ruler of Death eventually came back to just with one catch. They forgot what happened while they were...
Odette and the others have already forgotten everything. Why were you able to...
Could this be the reason? You said this is the Ruler of Death's symbol, right?
I don't see anything there.
You don't? Huh. Okay, I guess that makes sense. I carved this into my hand in the afterlife, so it's not visible in the physical. Does that mean I carved this symbol into my soul? What an unsettling thought. Still, at least I get to... What about you, though? The Ruler of Death mentioned that you're a descender?
A full explanation would get complicated very quickly.
Well then, now that it's all over, let's figure out what we've learned. The first thing I notice is that everything here is precisely as we left it, right before our deaths.
They say that right before death, time slows down, and your whole life flashes before...
That must be how you know you have one foot in the afterlife by that point. Anyway, clear... This also aligns with previous reports of widespread temporary memory loss among the Armory Palace personnel. Now it seems likely that to those unaware of the truth, dying and coming back to life must feel similar to a short bout of... This leaves me with a couple big questions. What are the conditions that trigger this so-called curse of death? And why are we
If nothing else, I think it shows that killing us wasn't her ultimate goal. We still don't know her true...
Right. This time only got complicated because of the situation with the theater's ley lines. That's why she had to approach it differently. If the previous Come to think of it, wasn't I about to note something down before I died? I can't remember what it was, but I think it was something related to my... Sorry, Traveler. I'll catch up with you again later. Right now, I have to make a trip back to the armor.
Sir, if I may, no one of your description has ever... Yet, you two seem very familiar with each other. And, by the way, have we ever crossed paths? Forgive the presumptuousness, but I feel
I can explain everything.
So, Chuganov really is going to shut down the factory. I guess this theater incident... So, you said I promised to take you to the Armory Palace while we were in the afterlife, yes? I believe you. I think I even have a vague memory. Agreed. Let's check in on her first. The whole reason for our trip to the...